And we so welcome everyone. Hi, this is Abhijit. Welcoming you all to Misfits. Giving you a quick introduction about what Misfits is. Misfits is a social impact pitch competition that it's a initiative that we've been running for the past 2 months in finding the most impactful change makers from South Asia. Uh, Now, as we say that there's a virtual pitch event that's happening across different regions in the South Asian region. We're just not limiting it to a virtual pitch competition. It's primarily a platform which is enabling social entrepreneurs, innovators, change makers to connect together and expand their horizons. Some of these regions that we are doing these events across are listed here. We are glad to say that we're now 50% through. We're done with seven pitches so far, and now in the next month we'll be going international, and we'll be having all these pitch events across different regions. So welcoming all of you. When we say that it's a pitch event, it's not just another pitch event. What we're focusing on that we ensure that a community gets built, and all of us work together in sustaining the impact that we've created. We're bringing together a global coverage, a journey that takes us to all these different regions in the continent. We are highly impact focused. The startups, the innovators that have been coming together are folks who are creating a better future for all of us. Not just that, but we are also seeding these ecosystems specifically towards social entrepreneurship and highlighting the change makers like you today who are going to present your work with us. Also, the entire community that's eventually getting built is part of the larger sustainability initiative so that we keep engaging, growing together, and help out each other in our individual journeys. I'm very thankful to our partners who've been helping us, supporting us in this initiative. At a larger level, we have Telugu and I am Kashipur, who are the co-hosts for the entire Misfits initiative. And I'm glad that Startup India also supported us in terms of outreach and the benefits through their platform. Uh, then we have a bunch of amazing partners that have made the entire event happen so far, and we are adding new partnerships as we move forward. Some of our global ecosystem partners and outreach partners are here, and they're bringing in a lot of benefits for all of you. Now, talking about that, why are all of you here? Like, obviously, you're here to share about the work that you've been doing so far, but there are some amazing benefits that all of our partners have committed towards the participants that are coming in. Some of the benefits I'd like to mention by Telugu, which is about 3,000 US dollars worth of credits for their products and a 20% discount for all the participants. Thrive5 is providing about 500 USD in Google Cloud credits and Crowdera credits, plus HubSpot discounts, as well as they've opened up their entire crowdfunding platform for free to all the participants here. Paytm Build for India has committed towards providing their payment gateway and wallet at a zero transaction fee, plus a dedicated account manager for everyone who signs up. Through Fundwise, VCATS, Shaper Impact Capital, Thinkubate, Estrella Global Ventures, they are here to assist you in helping you raise funds. Bunch of them are investment agencies, investment firms, and they are keen to look at folks like you who can fit in their portfolio and make that investment in your companies. Message 91 has committed towards $600 worth of messaging credits. Global Shapers, AIC Banasthali, Triple IT Hyderabad. These are providing mentoring support to the winning teams. We're also trying to bring together a mentoring initiative for all the participants that are coming to us. Uh, Autodesk Fusion 360 is giving away a 1 year of startup license for their product. Eduvance, which is an amazing deep land tool. If any one of you in your early stage of business design, you can use this to plan out different scenarios and work out your business plan in the best possible way. Kodo, which is a startup friendly credit card, is giving away discounts on their card, and there are several more benefits that are coming for all of you. Now, moving ahead, I'd like to take a minute to quickly introduce about what we at Vruksh Ecosystems are doing. We primarily are a think tank which is into seeding innovation ecosystems. Now, why we have been doing this and what do I mean by seeding innovation ecosystems is we felt the need when we're working in tier 2, tier 3 ecosystems that the support there is highly disintegrated, and what we are trying to do is getting together local players and democratizing knowledge sharing through our initiatives. We have this saying within the organization, and we are highly vocal about this. Is we don't like to just talk about ideas, but we like to talk about making those ideas happen. And our sole purpose of existence is for entrepreneurs like you to help you realize your potential and your make your ideas happen. Now, moving forward, without much ado, I would like to introduce Mr. Naga Prakasam. He is a person who rarely needs an introduction, but he's been doing amazing work through multiple different initiatives and very committed towards social entrepreneurship in general, and building really has been building those innovation ecosystems and supporting social entrepreneurs across India and beyond. He's an active angel investor and has spearheaded impact thinking within a national body of Indian Angel Network. Sir, I'd like to call you upon and ask you to share a little bit about your journey here. Yes, sir. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, great, excellent. Hey, great, good initiative. I think this is a very unusual time, crisis of a century, I call it. But I think many of you youngsters have done a beautiful job and attaching this ability, right? What I call it as every crisis an opportunity. So you're able to mobilize all these great entrepreneurs who are solving fantastic problems together, so that we are able to probably guide them, maybe give them some pointers about which direction to go. And with that, so how do you want to probably go ahead with the question answer mode, or you want to talk
Yes,
about
sir.
it?
So to begin with, I'd like you to share a little bit about you call yourself a farmer of startups.
Yeah.
I really like that term. So one is take us a little bit deep dive into that. What's the kind of work that has been, what's been driving you
Right.
into doing these things?
Okay, great. So I think this word farmer, and people feel that, are you doing farming? Obviously, my grandfather was a farmer, but I use this name for a different purpose, right? In the country, usually the word farmer is something that people feel that he's poor, he's dumb, and his son is not going to come to farming. So how to change the stigma around the word farming itself? That's why I call myself farmer, but with the tag which says growing startups, right? So then I was in a conference recently. Someone mentioned that, so you're growing startup, why you call yourself farmer? So if you look at the history of humankind, and we were all hunters and gatherers, right? So we are in forest and hunting and maybe gather what is available. So this hunter and gatherers are the one, they get lucky. They have no idea what today they're going to get. Someday they get a lot of fruits and some animals, or someday nothing. So it's just purely play on their luck, right? That's what hunting and gathering. The moment human beings started learning how to harness agriculture, so we started settling down, by the rivers, and we started sowing seeds, and we know exactly what's going to come out of it. So we become farmers, right? We started becoming, dependent on agriculture. So that is what I say, that in farming means that you're a visionary, right? You are picking up a problem and you are working towards solving the problem no matter what, and you are going at it. If you're a hunter or gatherer, you're just throwing, and believing in your luck and then figure out what's going to happen. So I just want to have, or all the entrepreneurs have, a farmer attitude, right? Not a hunter attitude, because someone does something there, let me try in India, I'm going to become, successful, or something trending. There are 100 guys doing it, let me also do it, see what happens. But if you are working towards a farmer attitude, and you have to nurture the land, you prepare your land, you sow it, and you know when to see the seed, and then you started providing all the nurturing support, and you're going to harvest, right? So I think that's an attitude the startup should have. That's why I have started calling myself as a farmer. Yeah. So I think today I think very, very happy that hundreds and hundreds of startups I'm able to interact and invest in few of them, and I'm just picking up and guiding them towards that attitude, rather than picking up whatever is working. So we'll talk through the course of the time in details. I call Indian startups in three categories. Right? The first one is about copycats. So they just try to figure out what is trending sector, right? Whether it's AI today and tomorrow there is something else, they just copy paste and do it. The second category is playing on India's strength. So that is what I call that. You analyze, you become sensitive to understand what the problems around you, and then start attacking the problem and then start solving it, right? So that's why I call it as India's strength is about people, and then problems, and some element of technology, right? So yeah, you any complaint you make today, whether it is corruption, pollution, poverty, hunger, farmer suicide, or anything, everything is a business plan. And you pick a problem, start working on it, bring some element of technology. Technology need not be all the time, it has to be an IT. The technology could be anything, chemistry, physics, all that. And then if every Indian pay you rupee, that's your 1 billion rupee company. So that is why the market is in a billion people. The first category targets 250 million who may have a great internet access. The second is about the billion. I think that's where the market is. If you're able to reach out the billion with your solution, and we can do amazing, wonderful thing. And then the last category, what I call disruptive innovation, we have zero in the country. Yeah.
Okay, sir. That was a great insight, and the way you've categorized it. I think even for us, like when we started our nonprofit, we got this on a very regular basis. Like we call ourselves Vruksh. So a lot of people think ourselves like, are you planting trees? Are you an environmental NGO? But then we also like echo a similar thought process where we look at the tree as a symbol, where we are like building up that ecosystems and connecting people in that journey. So, echoing a lot of thoughts there. So, you've been an active investor in the social enterprise sector. Uh, could you help us give us some insights into, like, especially with the pandemic setting in, there has been a lot of focus and a lot of opportunities that have now opened up for entrepreneurs. So could you give us some insight into that?
I think this is a crisis of a century, right? And I don't think anybody in the living being today in the planet has seen anything that they could relate it to, right? But I think as an entrepreneur, you always look at that every crisis is an opportunity. So, I have seen maybe some financial crisis in 97 or a 2000 dot-com boom or bust. In 97, we had a problem, right? We're not able to store our extra 2 digit of a year, right? We need 4 digits for the year. That's a simple problem, but we thought the whole world is going to be in trouble. That created a $250 billion industry in India. So the Y2K problem, what we call it, right? And 2000, internet came and went, and it was a big problem. A lot of companies shut down. So, we were there at that time, and we all took a pay cut in our company. And we said, we have two options, right? Either you just shut it down, or all let's work with the very less resources and build product solutions, so that when things pick up, we come up with a great product. I think we took the latter. We all took a big salary cut, and we worked towards building amazing product. So when things came out of the problem, it was really, really fantastic. Then you have your 2008 recession happening because information arbitrage, and you can see that in technology wise, the blockchain was invented to remove the information arbitrage. Like that, every crisis is an opportunity. Even back then, when Newton was locked down, and he came up with the idea of the three laws that we all know today, is able to send rockets to the moon. So with that context, I think all the social entrepreneurs out there, this is a beautiful opportunity because it put us back in where the priorities are for the whole country. Otherwise, we are ignoring, right? So when the US president visited India early this year, we were building walls to, because we don't want to show him our slums. But the second day of the lockdown, every poor all came down on the streets in every metros, and they did a parade, right? The whole world saw it. BBC showcased in the whole world that people realize, even sitting, living in the cities, that how many poor people in my own city, they ignoring that, right? They didn't even think about their maid, their driver, their cook, because they're all living in the slum, and you are penny pinching, just give them 2,000 rupee raise, and you're always trying to find someone else. So that was a fantastic thing, that problems are out on the road, right? Which we no longer can hide under the rugs, right? That's a number one thing for every social entrepreneurs, that this crisis brought out the awareness very, very well, because otherwise you write a blog, you put it up in your social networks and all that, nobody's going to watch it because India is busy with Bollywood and cricket. So now I think when you have a lockdown, everybody have no else to go. All they saw was this people on the street. That's the number one amazing opportunity. Number two, they started walking back to their villages, right? I think the urbanization was not an answer for India. I've been talking for a while, and that was showcased that in the first week of lockdown, people started walking back, because what I call is about Bharat saying bye to India, right? Because they started walking back, they saw that it's a city disease. I'm going to be better off with my family, because the rural livelihood was lost. And all the efforts social entrepreneurs have put, all the efforts by rural livelihood missions of the country did not stop them, because they did not see a rural livelihood happening. They started migrating towards the city. Now some of them, almost a crore of them, went back to their villages. It's a fantastic opportunity, because when I came back from US, people said that it's a foreign return. That's what I call them. All these 1 crore people who've gone back. This 1 crore is an official data by the government. I'm sure that 2 to 3 times more people have gone back to their villages. I call them not reverse migrants. I call them city return, because they're going back to their villages with knowledge, and they built the city. Whether it's good or bad, they have skill, they have knowledge. Now they can go back and build their villages, right? So this is a great opportunity for everybody in the skilling to upskill them, so that they don't need to migrate. Even if they migrate, they should come to India, not Bharat, right? So I migrated from Madurai. I'm sitting in Bangalore. The second week of lockdown, I did not walk back to Madurai because I live in India. But that's what we want. If people are migrating, that's okay, but they need to come to India, not Bharat, living in a slum of 10 by 10, 20 people, leaving these beautiful, villages, which is pretty much empty today. So the number one opportunity for all the entrepreneurs in social sector is about the city return, and how can we upskill them? How can we provide them skills that would not require migration? Because otherwise, you started teaching them crafts and soap making and stuff that they are not interested in, and which is not going to provide them a good remuneration. And even if you look today, that there are 2,000 farmers leaving agriculture every day. Even during this crisis, there are 43,000 committing suicide, right? Daily wages and farmers. So how do we increase the wealth for that? I think this is where the opportunities are there. The youth who's going back, bring them technologies, and I'm involved in one initiative where we're trying to get the database of technologies available in multiple government institutes, how to take it to the skilling agencies as well as rural entrepreneurs, so that they can help the farmers. Example could be is 3 hours from Bangalore, there is Madanpalli, and during this tomato season, they throw the tomatoes on the street because it's 1 rupee a kg. It's not even worth bringing to the mandi. So now there are technologies available, that in IHR, rural entrepreneurs can take that technology and provide value addition, make a sun-dried tomato, make a ketchup, so that the value addition will increase the farmer's income. So like this, the rural youth have gone back. It's a beautiful, fantastic opportunity out there for all the social entrepreneurs to take that problem on it. And this country, always we do very well during crisis. Otherwise, we are a democratic country. We sit around, debate for everything for years and years, and we don't make any reforms. And you can see that today, this farm to home, where it's allowing farmers to sell in the market and to whoever it is possible. I have a two to three investment in farm to home, and we see that the mafia will stop them in Bangalore border, that asking the farmer, where are you taking your vegetables? It's no longer it's possible now. The farmer is able to sell his produce wherever possible. I'm sure there are some changes required, but I think fundamentally farm to home is enabled, right? So that is one on the essential side. Telemedicine, healthcare, anything you do around healthcare, it is a fantastic opportunity. I have invested in a company called Neurosynaptic Communication. 68% of the country lives in villages where 2% of the doctors are available. So even before the crisis, we had a big healthcare problem. So that's when Neurosynaptic did, wherever you are, and we can do telemedicine. So Neurosynaptic is asking for a telemedicine reforms last 2 decades. Nothing happened. It happened last month. So today, we can do telemedicine to multiple villages. We are already in 5,000 villages. 32 diagnostic tests. A person failed 10th standard can run a diagnostic center in our village, connecting to a doctor in anywhere in the city, right? Mumbai, Delhi, wherever a doctor is available, they can, teleconsult to the farmers or whatever people in the villages, right? So healthcare is number one. Like this, a lot of opportunities are available in the healthcare. So the second is about health is not still reachable to many people. I think that is where the immunity boosters are available. Right? One of my investors, Native Special, we were just going to this cottage industry. If you are in Andhra Pradesh, there is a Puthereklu. In Tamil Nadu, there is halwa. These are all traditionally made, 50 year, 100 years of tradition, but it's not dying because these days all the children are eating chocolates. So he went to how to revive these industries. He was able to take these products and ship it all over the world, right? We were shipping like 100 ton of halwa last Diwali to US. But during the crisis, nobody's going to buy halwa. He started introducing, immunity boosters, right? And these things, without any of the sweets selling, today he's able to grow 300% because immunity boosters is able to sell, because many people who are not able to afford even Medicare today, because even Bangalore, we don't have a hospital beds available, right? People just saying home quarantine. But what happened to villages and small towns? So this is where the immunity boosters have a great opportunity. This entrepreneur is able to take that to people so that they can take a look at it. So number one, healthcare opportunities are humongous for social business. Number two is essential, as I mentioned about agriculture. This farmers fresh zone that we have in Kerala, we tell every tomato where it came from, because with the traceable technology. And so he grew 400% during this crisis, because when the traditional supply chain was broken, and he was directly buying from the farmers at zero disruption to his farmers. And he's able to grow 400%. A big e-commerce company is reaching out for him to support them. He said, no, why do I need to use support? I have more farmers and more customers. So that's an opportunity in essential agriculture, waste management, because there are more waste that are created, which need to be handled very, very better way. So this essential is number two. Number three is about the skilling part, what I mentioned, that education need not be always online, because in India, we have hardly 250 million have proper internet access, right? And so you have to innovate on how to take the education forward, whether it is through TV, whether it is through loudspeaker in auto rickshaw, whatever the way, figure out a way, upskill them in people in rural areas. The potentials are humongous. So these are three areas today that is very hard. You don't need any marketing. You don't need to keep waiting, because there's an opportunity, what I call as a pivot, to adapt. You have to move very fast. Speed is very important, because until the vaccine is found, people will be more tolerant to ideas. Until that come in, people go back to their own silos. They'll say that I will change my world, right? So that is where people need to move very fast. Don't think too much, jump and start solving the problem. The opportunities are amazing. The last point, what we need to mention, right? When we solve this problem, all the social businesses, we need to look at, are we doing sustainably, right? So that is what, today if you look at handlooms, so this is made of hemp. It is a handloom, and this is a natural dye, and this comes from Ayurveda. It goes by one startups in Kerala. So like this, people are trying to bring sustainability everywhere, right? Whether what you're eating, organic produce, what are you wearing? Are you wearing handlooms, khadi? How much carbon this shirt is using compared to the powerloom shirt, the t-shirt, people buy everywhere else. So there is an opportunity. So this lockdown, a lot of people are sitting at home. They have a lot of time to think about that as well. What am I doing? What is the purpose of my life? Right? The house I bought, which I hardly live in, I'm not able to spend time with my children. The maid was growing my children. The maid is walked back to the village. So I am now with my children in my house. Why do I need this big house? 2 cars, which I have not used for last 6 months. So then people start wondering, what is the purpose of my life? So I'm buying things more than I need. Then to manage that, I need to be running all the time, earning for it. So this is a great opportunity for all the social businesses that start thinking about what is the purpose of life. And all the green warriors, climate change people, all waiting for the told you so. You took nature for granted, nature in revenge. The opportunity for a green recovery possible. So already in others as well, when we recover, can we recover sustainably? Learn from the mistakes of the developed world. When we create a business opportunities, are we looking at a triple bottom line? Not only profit, you're looking at people, look at a planet as well, and which have a great opportunity for that. And there are little reforms happening on that. Like vehicle batteries, just convert the Bangalore waste into a bio CNG that runs vehicles, right? We have a Bangalore introduced, lending to bio CNG as a priority lending. It's like this, there is a fantastic opportunity. This crisis makes everybody to get into action, and there's an opportunity for all the social businesses out there to build the country sustainably. When we recover, let's recover sustainably. Yeah.
Sure, sir. That was an amazing insight. Uh, Facts backed by numbers and like very well put. Thank you very much for giving us that insight. I think I was just thinking about all those ideas while you're talking about, and I think a lot of us here had that bug going in their heads, like, okay, what can I do with so many ideas or so many opportunities out there? But then that's amazing, sir. Appreciating the way that you've put it out. Uh, Now I think this has definitely given a focus towards a lot of regional startups, like especially with the pandemic situation coming in, like because the supply chains at a national level were not active, so a lot of regional uh, players picked up, and that was like their moment of glory, that this is what we can do. And I think a lot of them, like with the numbers that you've shared, like I think some of them have really proved what they were capable of.
Yeah.
So moving forward, you mentioned this one statement, like especially with the farm to fork one, like people, like the farmers were stopped at the gates of Bangalore. So uh, I think a lot of social entrepreneurs, when they try and get into the bigger leagues, they face that kind of problems, or even at an early stage, like it could be just probably visibility or trust or things like that. So in your experience, what you've seen, what what kind of these challenges really arise at an early level, and what is the uh, what's the advice that you give out to your startups?
Sure. I think the number one thing for any social entrepreneur is about the perseverance, right? As long as your problem statement is valid and your solution is original, never give up, right? So all my, my entrepreneurs, I'm really proud to see that, because they pick up a problem, they stick with that, right? So I invested in a company called Gramalia, right? It was started 40 years back. It was building toilets. Only last 6 years we've been talking about Swachh Bharat. But this entrepreneur started his journey on Swachh Bharat 40 years back. Right? Today, what entrepreneurs want is that I start today, tomorrow I put it on social media. Day after I want 1 lakh views, and I'm all flying around. Right? People are looking for an immediate gratification, and social entrepreneurs always say that don't look at the mainstream media. Right? You'll get disappointed. You say that I'm solving a problem in Orissa at 42 degrees centigrade. A guy selling idlis in Bangalore is raised $1 million. Right? So that just don't even read this mainstream media, which talks. It's a very tiny portion of this India story. There are 31,000 startups registered, hardly 600, 700 get funded. It's like $10 billion of fund happen every year. And if we take out all the big names, it's very hardly small amount of money is there. But if you look at every social businesses and entrepreneurs who are perseverant and they never give up. Damodara Gramalya, 40 years he worked on Swachh Bharat. He was building toilets in a twin toilet so that you don't need a septic tank. Right? 3 years back, he was awarded by the government of India as Toilet Titan. He did not wait for that award. He never gave up for 40 years while you're working on. Now he says that my job is done. So now he's working on next problem. So that is the level of perseverance you want. If you want a gratitude and limelight and 1 lakh views tomorrow, you're not going to be a social entrepreneur. So that you put your head down, pick a problem. As long as the problem statement is valid, never give up. Pivoting is for the first category startups. Those category startups, what happened? They copy from US. If you copy Uber, and Ola started in India, if Uber sells idlis, and Ola will start selling idlis. There's no link between cab and idlis. But Uber is selling Uber Eats, I need to sell idlis as well, right? Because you copied someone, you copy exactly what he's doing. That's all pivoting is. But if you have original vision, never give up, like Gramalya. Sahas, waste management. It's like 12 years back, she started fighting with the 600 crore mafia in Bangalore on waste management. And she never gave up. When Swachh Bharat started, and people thought that this entity will survive or not, she got an award by the Prime Minister of India saying that a private player, a startup solving Swachh Bharat. Right? She was fighting with the 450, 600 crore mafia in Bangalore, and he got awarded by the Prime Minister of India. So that is the second chance about people not giving up, persevere. Doesn't think that the big name, small name doesn't matter at all. Go co-op. So many of my what I wear it comes from Go Co-op. We support handloom weavers. Next to farmer, number 2 in India is in textiles. Right? We are on 30 million weavers in the country. 24,000 cooperatives. So we want to help these weavers directly sell these products to the customer. So we saw that big players started coming in, but Coco Up Shiva never gave up his DNA. What he said: no media, no middleman, no brokers, only weavers directly selling to the consumer. He was with that statement forever. Government of India introduced entrepreneur award, national award for entrepreneurs. The first award went to Shiva of Gokoa. Who is the competition? Amazon, Flipkart, Craftsman, all these guys are competing with that award. The award went to Shiva because of the DNA. In his platform, you won't see anybody a middleman. Everybody directly is procuring from. He will tell you where this product is coming from. This is an organization, Nupada district of Orissa. It is making this ikat for this many years. In Pochampalli, this information will be there for them to identify. When Sundar Pichai came to India, he identified 3 startups to interview. So Sundar Pichai interviewed Shiva, that how are you solving problems? So this is all about perseverance, not giving up. And if big players or anyone trying to come into your space, you stick to your DNA and never give up. You will always win, right? So that's your number one thing, right? Same thing with Fresh World. electric vehicles. 6 years back, he started electric vehicles because 15,000 pushcart vendors in Bangalore. He wants to bring them into the 21st century, right? We buy our Bata chappal or a chappal in an AC showroom, but we have to buy our tomato on a 3 layers of pollution covered in a pushcart vending. But we lost the sensitivity, right? We never realized that. We bargained with this guy for $5. But you go and a showroom and buy this 1,000 rupee shoe or chappal, it's sitting in an AC room. So this is what Rajiv said. I want to directly buy from the farmers, bring these people into 21st century. He developed electric vehicles 6 years back, where many people have no idea about electric vehicles. And he worked with 4 startups build that vehicle. Because no, even today there is 0 startups can make this vehicle for us. There's a lot of talk, but there is no. We have vehicles on the road last 5 years, right? So today EV is popular. Today EV batteries are getting GST reduction. He was not waiting for the GST reduction to start EV. He started the problem. So if you look at that, all these social businesses not waiting for the government. So government cannot innovate, but if you innovate and scale, government will scale it up. Like what Damodaran started 40 years back, government took over, awesome. Right? What Vilma has started in Sahas waste management, making the corporates responsible, now EPR, right? Electric vehicle in vending 7 years back. Today we have EV policies come. Bio-CNG, 100-year-old technology to convert your organic fertilizer and gas from your waste. 100-year-old technology, so solved it. Today, Bio-CNG is in the budget of the government of India. This is what social entrepreneurs do. They will give ideas to the government by doing it. I get calls from people who say, oh, here is a great idea, please connect to the government. I say, it doesn't work like that. Don't run behind the government. You pick a problem, solve it, scale it, government will call you. And then you're done with your job, because social business, most of the time, they're solving a gap. Because if the government has done a great job, there's no need for a social business anywhere else in the world. So you have a time that you found a problem where nobody's solving it, you solve it, and if government is coming into the sector or mainstream coming to that, your job is done. Look at Muhammad Yunus. He got a Nobel Prize for just bringing billion people into banking, right? That simple idea about when people said, I cannot trust the poor people, he made people trust the poor people. 98% recovery. As 2 days back, Punjab National Bank wrote off 33,000 crores, right? We've never seen that in microfinance, where people thought poor is tough to pay back, but the rich is the one tough to pay back the money. 30,000 crores the bank is written off. With all this microfinance is doing about 99% recovery. So this is what he changed the perception of people about poor. Doesn't mean that you're not trustworthy, and he got a Nobel Prize for it. Today, RBI take the microfinance and make them as a bank. So this is an opportunity for all the social business. Don't get into the mainstream media, get demotivated that a guy selling idlis and t-shirt is getting money and all that. They're just short-lived. Any business model which is not proven and not on a fundamental business principles are wrong, it's not going to survive. But many social businesses, they all what I call as about lifetime entrepreneurs. Because there are lifetime entrepreneurs, there's a lifestyle entrepreneur. I know they see a newspaper and say that, oh, my college mate and he had 5 arrears, now he's selling idlis, raised $1 million. You lose sleep and start building a business plan and see what happened. That's your lifestyle. But lifetime entrepreneurs believe in themselves, believe in their vision. They're not copycats. They're playing on their own strength. They're sensitive enough to understand the problem in the first place, and they go really, really deeper in that one as well. I'll give you one last example, and this is a company rejected by 20 investors in IIT Chennai. So what they were solving, they were bringing voice recognition to people. India has almost 700 languages in India. Many languages, we don't even have a script. It's all 1,000-year-old plus languages, not even having a script. They're all through the voice. So this is what Umesh did. He said, I want to bring this billion people who don't speak English in India into digital revolution. So he developed a technology to recognize 100 dialects and 16 Indian languages and at a 98% accuracy. So microfinance, in the earlier days, people, they can just go and tell the agent their uh, name. So your voice is your password. Like your fingerprint iris, your voice is your password. So he was able to mobilize a lot of money through microfinances without people coming to the center to collect the money. So with their voice as a password, he's able to mobilize money. Every day, 40 lakh farmers were getting weather forecast in Tamil language. In local languages, the system was calling, giving them the weather forecast in their own local language. He was rejected by 20 investors saying that's not going to work, but he never gave up. When I met him, he was a 5-year-old startup and he never gave up. He was working on it. I said, I'm going to support you because you never listened to anybody, right? You believed in your vision. Your problem statement is valid. After 400 years of brainwash by the British, only 2 million speaks English in India. There have been 1 billion people. They're not going to change tomorrow. The problem statement is valid. The solution you found is original. So in the 5 years, he was listening every day 25,000 hours of Indian voice. So Time magazine put them in the 13 millionaires who are changing the world. The only one person from India, that is Umesh, bringing billion people into digital revolution. Cisco chairman John Chambers saw that. He wrote a $10 million check to him. So the technology that he developed to help the farmers of India and the poor people and getting microfinance loans, today it is helping MetLife Insurance in the US. And he's making call centers and profitability. It's like this, never give up, doesn't matter. Speech recognition. Who's his competition? Google, Amazon, Apple. A guy from Chennai is competing with a $9 billion of R&D budget from Microsoft. And Cisco chairman says, here's the future. How? He was solving simple India's problem. And he was on it for 5 years until everybody mentioned that he's in a wrong direction. If more people telling that your idea is bad, you are on the right track. So the more people are telling your idea is wrong, that you are on the right track. So have a perseverance. As long as your problem statement is valid, solution is original, never give up. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. That's been I don't have really words to express myself at the moment. I'm just like taking it I would want you to go and speak for hours probably. But in the interest of time, I would like to encourage some of our participants who would have any questions to speak up. We can take a couple of questions and then we can move forward.
Yeah.
So, folks, if you have any questions, either you can write us in the chat, or I'll just quickly allow you folks to unmute, so you can just quickly unmute and ask the question. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Naga, sir. This is very amazing thing going on, actually. So my question to you is there any major fallback you faced where you received failures in your professional journey from what you were and what you are now? Anything which affected you a lot and your venture? And then what was your mantra to overcome it?
Okay. So I think the one is, as I mentioned, right, that every day when we were talking to people, this perseverance part, what I was mentioning, right? So when we look at this GoCo-op, we were able to working with them. And when Flipkart came into crafts, right, handlooms, people are wondering about what will happen to GoCo-op. And we said that we have a strong DNA and we know the weavers, right? We need to probably, catch a next bus and then walk a 2 kilometers to go see a weaver. Shiva, who's the founder of GoCo-op, I used to call him Airbus to Redbus, right? Because he was heading Accenture, innovations director, and he was just traveling around the world. But now he's ready to catch a bus and go to the sea weaver and sit in 48 degrees centigrade without AC. But I said, all these guys who are in the e-commerce sitting in AC rooms have no idea about the ground problem. So we were very strong that we were not going to give up. I think that was proven. Today, Shiva sits in the UN board for technology for good. There are two people representing UN from India. One is Shiva Devi Reddy of Gokawa. The second is Narayana Murthy. So that is the level of things about, there will be a lot of hardships coming on your way, but don't give up. Don't ever, think about, I want to give up, because many times you will feel that I want to give up, but never give up. That's my personal, learning as well. So when I joined my first company, and that time I was an IT staff, right? You just switch a job and you'll get 20% hike, right? And you saw that advertisement coming in the paper, bring your salary slip, will give you 40% more money. But when all my friends were shifting, I said no. I just stuck with one company for 16 years. So I went from a system engineer to a president of the company in 16 years. So that is what having the perseverance in whatever you do. Believe in yourself. Don't look for a short-term glory. Then you will have a bound to have a failure, right? And even if you see the short term, there is a failure. I'm sure there is 2000 .com boom. Many of my friends, who left our organization with a lot of these .com companies, they used to mail me, I have this many stock option and all that. So I said, nothing bother. So I just chose this company and I'll be with this until these guys kick me out. And we sold the company. I got out. I said, I'm retired. So all these guys still working, writing code. Now I retired for last 9 years. So I retired at 40, right? But if I followed your friend, if you follow your advice from your neighbor, you're not going to succeed. Believe in yourself. Think for yourself. Don't become a herd mentality. Because my neighbor did this, my friend did this, somebody did this, my movie star did it. It's not going to help you unless you believe in yourself, identify who you are, and put your effort, right? And so people used to say that, there's 9 to 5 job, that's what I tell a lot of the young students these days, that the first 5 years, even if you don't have a salary, learn, right? So in my first job, I used to sleep in the office as well. We have paste and brush, that's all. So we were that curious about learning. So that is what I will give an example to that. Otherwise, failure will be coming to people who follow all this stuff. Even if in the short term, I feel that I'm a failure because my friend who was with me, now he's earning this much money, or I'm a failure sticking with this company. I had so many times that thought went through that, but I said no. So I want to make something out of this by switching again and again multiple things. I want to be a good in even one thing, right? So that is what, as an entrepreneur, you need abilities about pick one problem, go really deeper in that. You should be a world's best in that solution. Like Unifor, Umesh, the example I gave you, 10 years he worked on this one problem and he's competing with Google with billions of dollars of R&D budget. Chennai guy is competing with Google. So that is an ability that you need to have, is that think about whenever you feel like short term, I'm losing out, it's not working out, start really thinking about that. Is that what really you want? Is it making you happy? Making you happy is based on the exposure that you have. But even after having the exposure, end of the day, you need to have a mind to have a very strong willpower in you, saying that this I picked up, no matter what, every hurdle I see, even the whole world call you a failure, I'm not going to give up. So today, this word failure is a fancy statement, right? You ask me about a failure, right? You can do Google search and find out that people who failed, would you invite them to speak in this session? No, right? So then all of us will act like we are amazing people. So then I have to go dig back, when did I fail? And I did all that stuff, right? As a stigma that we have in this country, if somebody's failed, they'll disappear from LinkedIn for next 1 year, right? And they surface slowly about some product manager in some company. So that is what I say, that people who are, failure should be celebrated. A person who failed in the US is called serial entrepreneur. The person failed in India, he'll delete all the social media and he'll vanish. And he'll appear after 1 year and, with some job somewhere else, right? So this is where that you need to think about, go say to the world, I failed, so what? I tried something new, I failed. You've not done anything, serious. You've not failed. What is the use of your life? What is the purpose of your life? So that's an attitude that we need to have. And these kind of conferences, we need to search, get people who really failed. And he said, I failed today, my wife hates me, my mom hates me, but I'm happy. Can you get people like that come and speak here? Then you'll get a real answer. If you ask me, that I will play that I'm the awesome guy. The hindsight, everybody is a hero. But when the problem happened, only then nobody goes to him. Everybody call him, you're stupid. And right? He's a failure, then nobody reach out to him. So that is why I don't, this question, I always, take a big shot. I get last, I'm sure every conference, this one question comes up. How was your failure? How did you overcome? But this is where that it's for you, right? If you fail, would you be okay to say that on your Facebook or on your Twitter, on Instagram, that I failed miserably, feeling awesome, right? So nobody does that. That's what I say, that social media, I'll tell all my startups, and when an entrepreneur call me, I'll say that, okay, what is the bad news? But all the good news, I'll see from your social media, right? None of us put the bad news in the social media. Okay, tell me about the bad news and let's solve the problem, right? That attitude needs to change, right? Today, that's why most of the social media things are pretty fake, right? Because you see that, in a restaurant, there are two husband and wife sitting, they're not even talking, but they take this picture and then put it in the social media, right? And they're just answering to their friends about how awesome meal that I'm having, but you don't even talk to that husband sitting there opposite both of them in the phone. That's pretty fake, right? And you see from the, sitting in the next table, you should take the picture and put it about that. This is a reality, right? How these two guys, this is a reality, this is what they are telling you. So this is what you need to do, that don't get carried away with the statements, the successful people coming and say that how I failed and all that. Let's catch really people fail. They've not become successful today in the eyes of you and me, right? In themselves, they feel that I'm happy. But that is what about I said, don't look at the mainstream, don't compare yourself with anybody. The number one reason for every failure is about comparing yourself with someone else. Then you're going to be always failure, because there is always someone better. Look at Bill Gates, right? The richest person in the world. Where is he sitting now with all his money? He's not sitting in a 7-star hotel in an island. And, he's sitting in Bihar here, solving problems of the people in Bihar. So would you call he's successful or a failure, right? In the definition of people definition, success means money. Then he achieved success. Then why is about worrying about polio problem? Why he's talking about health issues and I want to solve problems in Bihar, right? Because so this is what do you want in life, and you go when you achieve that, are you satisfied, right? That confidence you should have, you should harness within yourself. Do not compare yourself with anyone. You are never a failure.
Thank you very much, sir. It's heartening to hear you with like such depth in every sentence that you speak. But in the interest of time, I would move ahead. I thank you, sir, for your time. So for everyone here, that's Mr. Nagaraja Prakasam. I hope you enjoyed listening to him. Sir, thank you very much. Like we've taken up a question. We had a couple of more questions coming in, but just due to the interest of time, we'd like to move ahead. Any last couple of thoughts that you'd like to share, and we'll wrap it up, sir.
Great. And I was told that all our social entrepreneurs never give up, believe in you, and I want all you to be successful. You're already successful because you've not followed the path of that someone else. You identify a problem and you start solving that problem. Amazing. I had put my website details. You can read more about whatever I mentioned. It's all there. Reach out to me. Happy to talk to you sometime. Yeah. All the best. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much, sir. So, moving ahead, I'd like Anupam to take it from here and introduce our regional partners for the event. Anupam?
Yes, yeah, hi. Thank you, Naga sir. A very good evening to all of you. Pleasant vibes with you all. This is Anupam. I'm into operations at Brooks Misfits. It's my pleasure to be among all of you in this global event. Let's start with introducing our co-host and regional partners. So we have this amazing co-host and regional partners. We have Entrepreneurship Cell IIM Trichy as our co-host. Global Shippers community as an outreach partner, and then we have AIC Raise as an ecosystem partner. I would request our co-host and regional partners to please share about your work, and then we will move forward. So I would like to invite, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Hi.
would like to invite our co-hosts. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for that. Hello, everyone. I'm Kritika from eCell. I am Trichy. The primary aim of our eCell is to help entrepreneurs build on strong ideas and start business ventures. So we facilitate a channel of valuable resources that provide guidance and support for those that are already a part of the startup world, which basically believes in mere profit making, but also in the urge of innovation, taking risks, and also indulging in creative execution of vibrant business concepts. We are currently in the process of setting up an incubation center to help entrepreneurs grow in a supportive environment. But other than that, we are currently also conducting various events. So we try to keep our community up to date by conducting various live quizzes and guest lectures. And we also convey the real life scenarios through case study competitions such as Office Timer and Explorica by bringing in existing startups with the business problems. We also connect our community to the industry experts and VCs through our various B plan competitions, which are open to everyone from India. Finally, we also support the entrepreneurs at the ideation phase with a chance to set up their live prototypes and make profits and get a sense of what customers actually want. And now I'll ask AIC Race to take it up from here.
Yeah, thank you, Kritika. Next, we have AIC Raise.
Hi everyone, this is Dinesh Manikam, manager of AIC Rise Startup Incubation Center. So first of all, thanks to Bricks Ecosystem, Misfits, Abhijit, Anupam, Rahul, everyone in the team for providing us an opportunity to be the regional partner for this pitch session. So we are very happy to be a part of this pitch session. And to mention about AIC Rise, as Mr. Nagapragasham sir has added, AIC Rise also has its focus area on social impact-based startups, and we focus on United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So we support startups who are working around all these United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So we believe in building startups that not only generates a good business model, but also has a better impact on the society and the environment. To go ahead with the incubation center, we started our operations on last Jan. In the time period of about 9 months, we have supported 45 startups, and we have 45 startups in our current incubation program, in which we are bringing in various support systems for them to scale and grow, including providing them with connecting them with industry experts and mentors, helping them to explore new markets, new networks, and helping them with high infrastructure facilities, including co-working space and makerspace laboratory established in tie-up with the MIT's FAB Foundation. And we have a partner with 12 plus investment networks, and through them we are helping them to raise seed funds and investments. And in this period of 9 months, we have created a few milestones through the incubation program, including we have helped our startups to raise a seed fund of about 320K USD. Also, few of our startups have won state, national, and international level recognitions, including winning Tamil Nadu Students Innovation Grand Challenge, selected for EDI's IVP program, and one of our startup has selected for Canada's Energy Accelerator Ventures Accelerator program, along with a seed fund support. So with this moving forward, we are looking forward to the pictures of the startups in this session, and we are looking forward to hear from them. And once again, thanks to Bricks Ecosystem and Misfits for providing us an opportunity to be the regional partner. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dinesh. Okay, next we have Global Shapers Pondicherry.
Hi everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, sorry, I'm outside. I couldn't connect with the video, but I'll be on audio. Okay. So yeah, so we are Global Shapers, and it's been a It's been just 2 months since we started in Pondicherry, and our plan is like we are planning to build an incubated type of model for generating employment and skill development in Pondicherry. And recently we got collaborated with Tirupur cotton export collaboration, and it's basically an Atal incubation mission project. And yeah, of course, we are planning to do other projects with the global shapers community like Pune, Mumbai, and other things. Yeah.
Thank you so much. A very big thank you to all the partners. Now I would like to request Kritika to take on from here.
Thank you, Anupam. Thank you, Global Shapers and AIC Race for that. And now I'm going to introduce the jury. First off, we have Mr. Vatsal Kanakya. He's a part of the venture investment team of Mehta Ventures and also the Chief Technology Officer of 100x VC, a new India-focused venture fund. He has been instrumental in helping startups scale and reach their potential. His investment profile includes Aurora Quantum, Miraculex, Heart Aerospace, and Toybox Labs. I now request Mr. Vatsal to say a few words.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, hey, hey guys, welcome to this session. Thank you so much for having me here. I think wonderful insights from Mr. Prakasam in the first part of the session, and I think this is super well organized by everybody, including Misfits, I am Trichy, etc. So really grateful and looking forward to hearing some amazing pitches. Just to give a background about 100x VC, we're the first institutional investors into our portcos. We've invested in 29 startups over the last year. We are completely sector agnostic, and we are the first investors using the iSafe node. And yeah, that's about it. Look forward.
Thank you, Mr. Vatsal. We next have Ms. Mansi Khanna. She is an entrepreneur and strategist with more than 12 years of experience across the different segments of telecom, IT, and digital media. She has led several B2C and enterprise digital products and has worked both in founding and leadership roles with Indian and global companies for product leadership as a business strategist. I now request Ms. Mansi to say a few words.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, great. Thank you so much for having me here. Like my fellow jury member just said, I think the talk by Mr. Naga was just so inspirational. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how our young entrepreneurs, marry commerce with excellent, with solving social issues. And yeah, all the best to all of you. And I'm really looking forward to it. All the best.
Thank you. Mr. Shaunak Dey is the next jury member, and he is the Chief Strategy Officer at Neen Opal Intelligent Solutions, which is a hub of data science innovation. With 8 years of experience across a variety of domains, including e-commerce, CPG, and insurance as strategy and analytics expert, he has successfully led teams across various roles and scaled early-stage startups into profitability. I now request Mr. Shaunak to say a few words.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Hi, so thank you very much for inviting me. It's a really great opportunity here to know and see how social startups are performing at the ground level. I would like to understand more on what the real challenges are in this part of the country, of what kind of solutions would really help uh, the people of the country. And especially during this time of the pandemic, it is really more important we focus more on social startups. And I would like to talk about two things. One is knowing the real business problem, knowing the real challenges that the society faces is the first thing that we should be concerned about. And the next thing is just not giving up, as Naga sir also said that it's all about not giving up. And so all the best to the participants and looking forward to the pitches. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we'll actually start with the pitching. Yeah, the rules are very simple. The participants will get 5 minutes to pitch, followed by a 3 minutes of Q&A. It is compulsory that you stick to the time limit. And now we can start. Our first team is Team Built Empathy. Please share your screen and you can start. Bhavya, you're on mute.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Am I now? Yeah, I wasn't able to unmute. It said the host had muted me.
Okay, fine. You can start.
Give me 1 second. I'll just share my screen, please. I cannot start screen sharing while other participant is sharing. Yeah, hello, Kritika.
Yeah.
Can you please stop screen sharing? It says I can't. Right.
Yeah, just a second. Yeah, we can see your screen now.
Right. The woman in the center is Lakshmi. She lives with her husband in a low-income community, and together they have a household income of about rupees 13,000. Her elder daughter goes to college and she wants to work part-time to support the family, but she's scared of returning home in the dark because there is a lack of street lights. Her younger daughter goes to the local government school and comes back home with no place to play. Her young son, he has limited prospects, and Lakshmi worries about him, catching bad habits because there's no development space for him in the community to engage in proactive activities after his daily lifestyle. This is the problem for millions of people in India every day. They're struggling from issues around livability in terms of development and street. So India has a very high population density. We have about 3.3 land mass, which holds 31% of our population, which gives us how congested our cities are. Add to that, we're adding about 30 million people to our cities every. We are going to add 30 million people to our cities by 2030. We're consistently falling in livability rankings globally. New Delhi and Mumbai, out of 140, were ranked some of the lowest in the BRICS nations, very close to Syria, which is a war-ridden place. Obviously, there is a problem in development issues in how our communities are developing. When Lakshmi walks home in the evening, she is at fall risk because she's the sole breadwinner and there are no street lights and the pavements are broken. So the government cannot solve for all of these urban development problems on its own, because this is a very top-down process which is not focused on a granular level to individual communities. Place matters for everyone. Can we make places which are safe and inclusive, which are inclusive of all gender identities, ages, and abilities? Can we make places for the communities that need it most? This is what we're seeking to solve with Build Empathy. We're a team of architects and urban designers who improve livability in Indian cities by making our public and community spaces safer, sustainable, and more inclusive for our underserved communities. So how do we do this? We collaborate with governments, local communities, and organizations to create design interventions which are executed in slums, civic spaces, and schools to solve these development issues, which can look at their holistic development from a spatial perspective. What's the process behind this? So initially we start with, let's go back to Lakshmi and her community. We first went out and mapped her whole community, did a preliminary analysis, spoke to the community people, conducted primary, secondary research surveys, At this point, we also have to liaison with government officials because permissions are needed to execute anything in the development sector. We then go on to distilling the community needs, because a lot of the times communities are not aware of what they require in terms of, they don't have a distilled sense of communicating what they need in terms of spatial interventions. So that's what we do through human-centered design, and we co-design interventions with them. And as the next step, we execute these community interventions with community participation to build ownership in these communities with the people, so that they're taking care of these interventions even after they're done. Inadvertently, while we are working in the urban sector, because it's so broad, there are always issues that arise which are not solvable by small social sector organizations, such as infrastructure issues of installing streetlights in the whole community area.
You
These
have
are
a minute left.
right. These are the bigger gaps which we report to our government partners. This is one of the examples of a project that we did in Bhubaneswar, which impacted over 1,500 inhabitants in partnership with the government of Odisha. And based on what we had done, over 2,000 slum projects were approved in Odisha as part of the Jaga mission, and all of the municipal commissioners now visit this area to see what they can replicate in their different communities. We've had an impact on 12 interventions, impacting over 15 square kilometers of urban development. And by 2025, we hope to scale our projects 10% year on year to impact more than 5 million people with a fellowship model where we'll open our impact and processes that we're currently building to the fellow architects and designers, so then they can intervene also in the city areas. This is our
Your
core.
time's up.
Right. So just the last slide, we've been fortunate to be supported by some strategic partners, and I hope together we can transform India to be a place which is inclusive of all ages, gender groups, economic activities, and physical abilities. Thank you.
Yeah, the jury can go ahead and ask questions.
Thanks for the wonderful presentation. No questions from my side.
Thank you.
Hi, Bhavya. Bhavya, could you tell me a little bit about the team that is working on this currently? I think we skipped through that slide very quickly. So just a quick introduction of, I believe the 3 people who are leading this.
Right. So,
just about them.
Shall I share the screen?
No, just verbally tell me. That's okay.
Right. So I'm myself an architect. I have a master's in infrastructure and real estate.
Okay.
We've been incubated at the NUT Center for Social Innovation, and I've led the Open IDEO Delhi chapter, which was taking care of human-centered design initiatives. And I've also been through a few other fellowships, like the Disaster Resilience Leadership Fellowship, something the Change.org Foundation, where what we see today as the Mukhya Mantri Streetlight Yojana that Arvind Kejriwal hosted. We started a campaign to bring about that in 2018 and met with the minister. Then finally culminated like that in 2019. So that's me, and my partner Shikhar. He has about over 12 years. I have over 9 years of experience. He has over 12 years of experience. He leads the biggest social network for architects and designers. So in terms of outreach, he brings that kind of strength. He himself is an urban designer from CEPT, India, the School of Environment Planning. And Prerna is an India Fellow. She has over 4 years of experience. And India Fellow is a grassroots fellowship where people work with different communities in rural India, and they're looking at these grassroots issues. So she comes with her architecture background and now leads community engagement for building.
I see. And when you're developing these projects in various areas, do you also kind of engage the local community to help you build these?
Always.
Okay,
So the
okay.
whole the process is basically participation, right? From like starting what they want to like in the end goal building. So in low income communities, the benefit is most of them are construction workers, so they're more than happy to work on their and we pay them, but then there's still that ownership that
Of
comes.
course, of course, of course. And between the three of you, who is the lead on the outreach and the engagement with various government bodies, etc.?
That I do that. So I take care of all the strategic outreach partnerships.
Okay, great. I'm done. No more questions from my end.
I would like to understand how are you taking care of the sustainability of the program, like the operations bit of it.
How are we taking care of the sustainability of the? You'll have
Yeah,
to
like
explain. Sustainability can be a very vague word. Like I'd love to understand
yeah.
what you.
Yeah, I would like to understand to run the operations, basically how to, like, you have a big team that's working at the ground level. So I would like to understand how you take care of the salaries, or how do you manage people having on board, and then basically the economic part of it, so that this
Right.
keeps continuing.
Right. So we are a Section 8 nonprofit company, which means we take CSR donations to do this, as well as when we're working with some grassroots organization, we also take consulting fees. So it's a hybrid sort of a model where communities which are interested in developing their local regional communities, they get these organizations pay us as consultants, and the government funds us as consultants, whereas CSR we bring in the money and execute as part of our own foundation.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Team Earth Focus can now share the screen.
Hi, can you hear me? Hello? Yeah.
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, I hope you can see my screen as well. So hi, my name is Arun. I represent Earth Focus. We manufacture water savers that can be attached to your existing taps that can save up to 95% water. So I don't have to explain about water scarcity because everybody is aware of it. But just to give you one point, by 2025, more than half of the world's population might live in water stressed countries. So that's how bad water scarcity is. And we have to take steps to make sure, especially the urban people, to use our water wisely, and our products help us to do that. So as I said, we use a technology called as atomization that converts 1 drop to million drops of water that helps us save 95% water. So consider this first image where water is coming out from a tap. Only one layer cleans the surface, whereas the excess water goes down the drain as waste. With our technology, what you get is that one layer or two layers above the surface that is more than enough to clean anything, mostly our hands. So now you have a clear understanding of what we do. So ours is a retrofit, which means you can attach this product to your existing tap. And what it does is it creates this fine mist that's very gentle on your hands, but powerful enough to clean any dirt from your hands. And by doing this, you save up to 95% water. A normal tap would give you close to 10 liters per minute, whereas ours would only give you close to 500 milliliters per minute. So now you can imagine how you achieve that 95%. So we have different model of water savers. This is called EcoMist, which is we supply this to all commercial places where this only gives mist, and this you can save up to 98%. That is only close to 300 milliliters of water would come out. And we supply this products to corporates where people only wash their hands and they don't do pretty much anything other than washing their hands with their taps. And this is a second model called as Eco Shower, where you get these streaks, lines of showers, and this water, you get a more richer hand wash and you actually get more water, but you still save up to 85% water. The output is close to 2.5 liters. And this is a dual mode model, which we supply, which we give to, direct customers, for kitchens and bathrooms, where you have mist mode to wash your hands and you have shower mode, which you can twist the cap to just change modes, which is quite easy. And you can wash your vessels and pretty much anything. And this is Quamis 360, which is mainly for kitchen, which has both the dual modes and you can adjust the angle of the tap. So these are the 4 lines of water savers, and we are actually doing our R&D to get into more products which consume more water, especially at homes. And when you take bath, we're working on a shower as well, which can actually save 80% of water. So yes, So if you see the savings, right, there's a huge difference between a normal tap and our products. With EcoMist, you can actually save 98% water. And the best part is we have few clients who we used EcoMist and they have actually got the return of investments within a week's time. So within even less than a week's time. So it's not just the return of investment part, but you save millions of gallons of water over time. And this is just a comparison saying like, I have a better Excel to show you in the end. I'll show that. And so, yes, if you compare it to a normal tap, our water savers it creates a difference rather than saving water. And it's not about just saving water. It actually reduces your building's carbon footprint. For example, in a tap that gives out 100 liters, with EcoMist, it will only give out 6 liters. So you're not just saving the water that comes out from the tap. I mean, you're not just saving 94 liters of water. You're also saving the water that is used by the pump that transports the water, that 94 liters from point A to point B. You're also saving a lot on the energy that is used by the truck, the diesel. That the trucks doesn't have to come in frequently. So you actually save energy, and it actually reduces your building's carbon footprint. So yes, and we were very fortunate to have a lot of clients who came on board last year during a water scarcity, and most of them, so for example, Cognizant, they invested 35 lakh rupees on our nozzles, and their yearly savings was close to 45 crores. So that's the difference that our products create. And why are we different is our products are made out of brass, not plastic. We make sure that we give the highest quality material, and our brass are not just ordinary brass. It's something called eco brass, where it has no lead content. So even it's qualified for international markets where people use their faucets to drink water. So eco brass does not have lead. We give them a 1-year warranty, and we actually give them 5-year warranty for all our corporate products like Eco Mist and Eco Shower. And it's actually an investment. We wouldn't call this as a spending, because you actually get the return, and after that you actually make profit both for you and for the world. And it takes less than 30 seconds to install a product. If you can fix a light bulb, you can install a product. It's that easy. And where we stand out is the quality of the product.
Your time's up. Please wrap it up quickly.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much our product. We are expanding, and yes, that's pretty much all I have to say. Yeah, I could. Yeah, that's it.
Great. Thank you.
Answer, yes.
Hi, Arun.
Hi.
Vatsal here. Thanks for that presentation. Just wanted to quickly understand, maybe I missed this. Do you have any patents or anything along
We
those
have
lines for the product?
we have applied for a design. We have applied for an invention patent. We have actually patented the technology, how the water gets atomized. It's something that we created on our own, and it's in its pending status. So we've actually applied it in fast track. So we'll be getting it latest we'll be getting it within 2 years. So that's the timeline my patent lawyer has given me. So yes, it's in its pending status.
Great. And from a retrofit perspective, is this something any layman can just fit onto their tap, or do you need?
No, a layman can fit it. As I said, right? If you can fit a light bulb, you can fit our product in.
Okay.
It's just that removing the old housing and installing ours. It'll take less than 30 seconds to do so.
Super. Thanks, Arun. Thanks.
Yeah.
This is Shaunak. Have a question here. So, what are your next lines of or the product lines that you are planning? What kind of innovations that you're looking at up next?
Oh, we are actually working on a shower with the same technology that has a much bigger impact, and it gives a. Imagine having a world-class shower experience with less than a bucket of water. So that's where we're heading at. And the R&D is done, so we are actually planning to raise funds for the product. We've got the final prototype. We are planning to, we are planning to raise funds for that as well. So that's the next line of products. And yeah, we are planning to branch out after that. For now, Earth is made out of 3 things: land, water, and air. So right now we have started with water, and we eventually want to go into land and air as well. So yes.
Okay.
Arun, I had a couple of questions. Number one, I just was keen to know how long have you, like, when did you start out?
I started this in 2017. As soon as I finished my college, I technically
I
had
see.
6 more months, but I started it. It took me a year's time to come out with this product and do R&D and And then actually our last year was, we had a very good run last year. And the water scarcity in our city, Chennai, was a blessing in disguise, which made us, which made people realize how important water is. And they have, they actually tried the product and they were so impressed by the product. So we were there for the last 3 years. We've just converted to a private limited. So
I
yes.
see. And how big is the organization? How many people do you have in your
We have
team?
15. We have 15 members.
Okay.
I have my co-founder. His name is Roshan, and I have my
Okay.
mentor. I have two mentors.
I
My
see.
person who initially invested in me, not the company, who helped me bring out the nozzle. So she is still a part of the company.
I see.
And Mr. Ram Kumar from Shanti Gears. It's a part of Murugappa Group. So
I
he's
see.
very interested in the product, and he's my
Okay.
mentor as well.
Okay.
Plus,
And just another question. Are you working with the government in any form or manner?
Not actually, not exactly. Main
Okay.
reason being our nozzles are made of brass
Okay.
and they come under the premium, like
I
sort
see.
of the premium
Right.
segment. So
Right. Right. Right.
a lot of government people have approached us, and we
Mm-hmm.
actually got a railway tender. Someone randomly gave me the railway
Right.
tender, and it
Right.
actually said EcoMist or any similar product. So I was
Right.
happy that our product is actually a benchmark over there. So yes,
So
but we are.
I want to understand one thing. The patent that you have, is it for the technology, or does that also include the brass part of it?
Oh, it's just the technology. The
So is
reason
it
why we
possible for you to kind of mold it into another metal which is more scalable, or I'm just asking, I don't know much about the
We've
space.
been doing that actually. So
Okay.
basically, we've actually patented the technology,
Okay.
and the shower that I mentioned earlier is
Right.
with the same
That's the one.
technology. And
Okay.
we
Okay.
have also done a couple of nozzles for industrial purposes, which
I
they
see.
just came and they actually used our product for the industries, and it worked
Mm-hmm.
well. So we never had that in plan, but yeah, hey, if
Okay.
it benefits, yes, why not?
Great, great, great. All the best. Great
Thank you
presentation.
so much.
That's it for me.
Okay.
I had a small question, like how does this work for places which doesn't have very good quality of water?
You mean quality of
Mud,
water, the
yeah,
scaling or
maybe
the dirt?
mud or muddy water or
Oh,
a lot of sediments. So how
we
does
have a
this work?
filter, so if it gets bad, you need to remove the filter and clean it and put it back inside. So the filter should do that. But another question is the scaling that happens. Water with hard water, the scaling happens in the
Yeah.
products. So since our products is made out of brass, you can actually remove the product, clean it, and put it back in. You just brush it with lime and vinegar, the scales will go off. So the product will last as long as the tap does. So, or arguably even more than the tap does. So yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so
Team
much.
Shemin Labs can start.
Hello.
Pradeep. Yeah,
Yeah, I just unmuted myself. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen.
sure.
So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So a very good evening to one and all present here. So myself, I'm Pradeep, the founder and CEO of Shemin Labs. So we actually we have invented a product where we make your road journey safer and smarter. So by this, so let us go to the problem statement. So the problem that India and most of the other developing countries are facing is there are more than 1.5 lakh people die in road accidents each year in India. That is due to drunken driving, overspeeding, and many other cases. So we have dig deep into problems like the root causes why these are happening. So there are three problems. So the one is the drivers are held responsible for more than 78% of accidents, like they're under influence of alcohol, or they're feeling drowsy, or they're using phone, or any other reason. So the second problem is the lack of quick response systems. Like after the crash, so the time between the crash and the ambulance arrives at the spot is very much that the person is dead, either dead or taken dead to the hospital instead of saving lives. So the third problem is the lack of life-saving features in low and mid-end cars. So if you look at the Indian market, like there's more than 60% of cars are low and mid-end, but the features like 8 airbag systems and anti-collision systems are only available in high-end cars, which cost more than 40 lakhs or 50 lakhs. So our solution is simple. So we have invented a retrofit device and we have patented it. So the retrofit device uses AI to monitor the driver and the road and the vehicle itself. So the device itself can alert you while you're distracted or feeling drowsy, and the device is also able to detect the on-road conditions like anti-collision warnings, etc. So the second main feature of the device is it has G sensors and technology where it can detect the crash, and it can alert the nearby ambulance and predefined numbers if you want. So not only that, like we have to solve the problem from the root. So there are systems which solve the 30% of the problem, but what we have done is different. Like we are using the consumer technology we have and the AI. So so as soon as you buy the device and you put in the car, so you are connected to a network where every vehicle with a device is sharing some information about the road and the vehicle, so that you are safe and no two shaman devices ever collide with their vehicles. So the key value proposition here is once you get the device in your car, like your vehicle speaks to you. Like for example, there are vehicle health reports and how your vehicle is feeling. You can get the updates from them to your smartphone itself. Not only that, like you can monitor what is happening in and around the vehicle from anywhere in the world. Like you just open your phone, again you can see through our cameras like what is happening around your phone. So these features are not available in low and mid-end cars, which you want to bring into the market. And not only that, more than 50% of the reason because of the traffic is like someone is fighting in the middle of the traffic for any cause. So what we provide is we provide our AI can detect the accidents, and it can save and record live footages of what happened there. So you always have evidence, a convincing video evidence in your phone, like what happened, and it's not your mistake. So it is very convincing for the user that he can prove that he is not wrong to any police or any other guy. So this is the value proposition. So in the product, we have two versions, like B2C and B2B. So in the B2B, we provide fleet tracking systems for any fleet, like any number of vehicles is like irrespective of the class or number of tires it has. So for the B2C, we provide a lower affordable system where every other car in India can use it, and you can grow the network and you can scale like however you want. So if you look at the market, like there are 22 million cars in India, which is huge. Like if we can cover like 10, either 1% of this market, so we can achieve 1 million cars in India. So how this is how we can scalable. Like our primary target market is like personal cars, logistic companies, institutional transport, cab services, and insurance companies. So for the insurance companies, we provide like usage-based insurance reports. Like we help users understand how they pay the premium. Like we decide how they pay the premium by ranking the user, like how he's driving. The better you drive, the less premium you should pay. So
You have 1 minute left.
Okay, so we are game changers in the competitive world. Like there are some competitions like in the market, like in the smart dash cams and ADAS system, but we are the most affordable driver assistance system in the market. So the business model is pretty simple. Like we give our product to fleet owners and the personal cars, and we collect anonymized data from them. So these data is perfectly encrypted and anonymized, so that we then dig inside the data, and we collect the insights about the road, the vehicles, etc. And we provide these insights to smart cities and OEMs. By this, the smart cities can build the roads better to avoid accidents, and OEMs can understand how their vehicles are behaving on the road. So totally, this business model can help us reduce the number of accidents by 50%. So this is my team. So myself, Pradeep, I'm the founder and CEO of Shemin Labs, and with my other two co-founders, Kansi and Rohit, and other four members are working as a part-time. We have a UI UX engineer and the lead engineer who has 9 years experience in IT. Coming to the achievements, like we won like many international and national
Time's
awards.
up. Wrap it up.
Okay, so coming to the so final slide, this is the roadmap. Like we want to also install this product into the like two-wheelers also, and we want to reduce accidents there also. And another thing is we want to help autonomous cars, like which is the future of driving and automobile industry. We want to help them understand the complex Indian roads and driving patterns. Thank you so much. I'm ready for the questions.
Pradeep, just I want to know what's your background?
So I just finished my engineering, like the founding team just finished the engineering this year. So and we have graduated from BTech.
Okay, and what prompted you to look at this particular problem?
So actually 3 years back, there happened an accident in our state. Like there was an accident where the driver slept while driving, and like close to 20 school children died of that accident. So we actually dig down like what is happening, why there are people sleeping in 21st century. Like there is so much technology available, and still there are people sleeping while they're driving. So we just digged in the problem, and this is a huge problem, right? 1.5 lakh people die every year. So we just started in the middle of the engineering, and we just split our time for education and the startup, and we started right away, and we are still focusing on it and building.
So I want to understand one more thing. In real life scenario, how is the information? So let's say there's a manhole on a particular highway which is open or something like that.
Yeah.
How is this information shared to someone who's, let's say, going to be traveling down the highway in the next 2 hours? A person has to actively search for this, or how does it work?
No. So no, the person would not actively search for it or report it. Like our device comes with an external cameras where the AI can automatically detect the open manholes, the potholes, the bad roads, and collectively these all data is anonymized, and these are updated into a map. So you can think of it like an added layer to a Google Maps, where we also input safety data, like the construction works are happening, manhole is open, etc. So those maps are available for free to users, so that they can drive easily in the roads, like in the bad roads.
Okay. That's it.
Does this require internet connectivity? Like most of the bad roads, I would say, are in places where the internet connectivity is really bad. So how does this work? Is it offline, or do you need to be online, and or how's the technology here?
So yeah, so actually the product is made for India. Like we have been focusing last few months in our R&D, where we want to develop technologies where we have like dual network coverage areas. Like if one SIM does not work, and we have integrated SIM in the product, where we don't use any of Wi-Fi mobile hotspot of user. We have our own internet connection. Like we use SIMs which cover more than 90% of India. So I think like in the lowest network areas with even 2G, our technologies can be updated on the map itself. So I think there will be no problem for the network coverage in our device.
Thanks for that. Keen to understand from my side, can this not just be an application on a phone, and then have people have the phone on a holder or something?
So actually, if you look at the accidents happening, more than 90% of accidents happen in the midnight. So if you look at midnight, there is low light condition, there is illumination, and there is a lot of disturbance happening in the cabin and outside the cabin. Like our phones, and we cannot write algorithms in our phone which can use the camera 24/7. So we are also planning for that also in future. Like we will release a small add-on to your smartphone where you can add it to your smartphone and you can use it. But till now it's just a separate product.
Okay, thanks. I'm done.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Team Uptad can start.
Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, we at Utpad aim to democratize consulting by providing technology and business consulting at reasonable rates to micro and small Indian businesses to make them more efficient, lucrative, and scalable. So we found that while 99% of businesses fall in the MSME category, they do not create or capture much of the value in this sector. We saw that this was because there is an issue with access to technology and also an issue with the know-how related to implementing that technology well. There's also an issue with access to growth hacks, where the enterprises are not able to scale. And this is what causes a gap between the value created and the value captured in the segment. While India is rapidly moving towards online assessment, communication, and purchases, this segment is quickly falling behind. So our target customer segment is the micro and small Indian businesses who lack access to technology and formal business resources and are currently struggling, especially due to the pandemic. So we offer practical and personalized technology and business advisory services to clients at reasonable rates. And currently we offer working capital management solutions in the form of simple computerized accounting models. And another offering is distribution and marketing channel design, so that they have access to modern channels and business strategy design and reinvention, so that the clients can optimize and compete well. So why are we different? We charge only a small fixed advance and we accept commissions based on results. This will reduce the risk for the customer. And also we target a current non-customer segment of the traditional industry. That means not many players are there in this segment right now. And we are also willing to provide help with implementation, which is a large issue in the current scenario. Now, Vaishnavi will be speaking further.
Yes, coming to our growth strategy, initially for the first year, we are planning to get most of the leads from our like family and friends, and we are like we made a small assumption that we'll take small term projects in 3 days. We can complete small term projects in 3 days and long term projects in 2 weeks. And coming to our medium term growth, we are planning to expand to about 10 consultants, and that time we're going to focus on actually investing in databases and technology tools to support our consultants, as well focus on promotion, where we are going to build a website where we're going to tell our stories, success stories, and also build some simple self-assessment calculators to see for the business to see where they stand with respect to the industry and peers. And coming to the long term, we plan to scale up to about 70 consultants and almost reach about 11,000 firms. And coming to our long-term value creation by customer acquisition cost, in the long term, it stands at 4.6. And our revenue model is initially for the small term projects and micro projects, we are going to charge about 2,000 to 5,000, mostly upfront fee and some revenue sharing aspect. And for long-term projects and bigger clients, we're going to charge around 25,000 to 1 lakh. And this is also based on upfront fee plus revenue sharing. And coming to the major challenges, we find that there's a latent demand for this, but we have to show more compelling figures for our customers to convert into our clients. And this segment is mostly fragmented and very diverse. So when we are planning to give customized solutions, we have to see that it's customized to a certain segment of clients. And for that, we are going to design standard operating procedure as we scale up. And currently, the field work and physical canvassing is a restriction. So we are going to mostly go through WhatsApp and direct phone calls. And major implementation issue is like when in the long term, we are going to take revenue sharing. So when we're going to take revenue sharing, so we have to see that our suggestions are converted into implementation, then only we can get. So for that, we're going to help them with successive steps, like either we can give simple solutions, or we can give join them with third party consultants who like for helping them in implementation. And coming to the team, Meghna is the CEO, and she has a technology consulting experience and good leadership skills. And I have done my computer science in IIIT Hyderabad, and I have access to the technology ecosystem there. And both of us have good grasp of the research domain, and what frameworks are applicable. And as we are based out of tier 2 cities, we have looked through few MSMEs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have you already been a part of have you done some projects already?
We're currently working on two projects, but we just started last month as part of an academic project. So we haven't done too many projects yet. We're currently working. We've not finished anything yet.
And one of the problems is in this sector is about payment collections. Right. And very long delays in terms of project plans. So how do you plan to tackle that?
So you're asking payment collection from our side. You're saying like how will
payments as well as delays in project.
Okay, so currently currently we're in the research phase where we're doing some projects in order to get a good idea of how exactly each part of the MSME sector works, because every industry or every enterprise is very different. So we saw that if we can take a small upfront fee that is currently working. So that will reduce the problem of the delayed payment. But for the long term revenue sharing model, we'll have to probably implement some technology solution where once they make a profit beyond a certain limit, that a particular share of that comes to us. So we're thinking on in terms of technology. We have not yet finalized it or created that platform yet, but that's the direction we're thinking in.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Thanks. None from my side. Thanks for the presentation.
Thanks. Nothing from my side either.
Okay. Thank you. Next team is West in Me. Can you please get started?
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes. Hi all, good evening to one all. So our company is Western Me, a fintech company. So why do we need another fintech company? So the word itself is a buzzword that we were hearing in the startup community. But what happened to all those fintech companies when a pandemic situation happened? Where all those people who had told that they'll assist us in our savings, where manager funds, what happened to all those kind of platforms? Everything was shut. So one major problem is like say people who are from a middle income or low income sector. These are the people who got affected the most, that we have seen all through the news channels. When we browse across in our lockdown periods, we just saw only one thing: how people were suffering. Especially we didn't see the top CEOs or the companies, established MNCs, struggling with their inventories or short supply of cash. They will come out successfully because they have assisting IBs with them. They have lawyers, accountants to help them out in coming out from various problems that they face. But what happens to the middle income and low income people who just earn their monthly salaries and trying to fight for themselves for their for running their household things? So there comes our company. If you roughly take around a country like India, we are already in a low income category with 350 million population are in that segment of middle class. How I quote middle class, just to put in layman's terms, whose bank account is having a bank balance of less than a lakh. So that is our primary target customer segment. So what we offer them is that we push them to save. I know that it is difficult for people who are earning in IT or who are having a monthly income of less than a lakh to even save, because they have multiple commitments. The day the salary is credited, the next day it goes out in multiple EMIs and stuff. So what if they are being assisted with one of the IB support, one of the portfolio managers? All this fancy term of portfolio management is there only for the high income, high earning people. But what if that there is there for the middle and low income people? So we tailor their needs. We give them assistance in how to save, and we also help them in saving the money and investing on behalf of them. So that in that way, without their knowledge, they do save some amount, and when situations like this strikes, they'll be able to come out successfully. So that is our target segment, and that's our main value proposition. And why Western Me? We offer one-on-one personalized services. Even though you are a very low income category, even your household working women, you can opt to us rather than you cannot step inside JP Morgan, you cannot go into Goldman Sachs. All these people, it's like a dream for many of them to even think about it. So we are a team of 3 who's across pan India, and we support better returns to the people than the marketplace in terms of returns, in the sense like the amount they get back as the money that they save. And our main target segments are the low and middle income, household women, and student and IT professionals who are struggling to meet their ends meet. But still, if they have given an option and advice to help them save, they'll be able to do financially good for the next 2-3 years. Short term guidance is what they need, and that is the market that we are looking for to tap. So the services that we offer is a basic investment platform with all the saving strategies that help them in saving their money as and when the salary is credited. We also help them in analyzing their spend
and personalized investment strategies, like where they can invest the money either in gold or even in a small stock which they have not even heard of, or they have no idea about there exists something like that. And we also manage their portfolio completely. In order to do all this, we need a mobile and web application, and that's why we come as a fintech platform. So our last thing, a revenue model and traction, is like right now we are starting with the students of all our neighboring communities. I'm a student of IMT and my entire team is, and we are looking forward for all the students from the
1
neighboring.
minute left.
Yeah, Kritika. So that we are looking for those students, and once we get enough traction, personalized packages will be given to them. So, and that's it. And this is my team, and this is me, Karthik, and Parul Jindal and Monica are from Punjab, and Monica is from Hyderabad, who is taking care of CFO and strategic decisions. Thank you so much.
So what is the experience that you guys have in similar investment or uh, doing this kind of savings?
Yes. So, to be frank, when you take my team, like I am a kind of a serial entrepreneur. I had an experience of 3 years. Did multiple things and kind of failed. And those places where my previous startup is related to investments and strategy. So that helped me in building something like this. And Parul Jindal is one who is having background in finance. He's from a commerce background, and then he pursued an IMT as well. So both Monica and Parul Jindal are from those portfolios, completely domain experts on fin platform. So they are doing it on terming with.
Karthik, could you elaborate a bit on your marketing and outreach? So how do you get in touch with these people and what that process is like?
Yes. Basically, to start with, we have kickstarted with our IMT family and with all the neighboring student community. So once that is done, that we are going targeting their friends and families. So this comes based on the trust, because there are so many NBFCs, microfinance, and then so many banks which has been defaulted. So there is a perception that that banking is something which is going down. So in order to beat this and come out, we have to go build the trust slowly. So we are starting with our friends and families, and going forward, we have a student base of around 5,000 throughout Trichy alone. In coupled with Chennai, we have roughly a target of around a lakh customers. So that's what is our
So
primary.
your mode of communication with them. So for friends and family, I understand it'll be mostly word of mouth, and correct me if I'm wrong. But for the extended base that you have, what is the primary form of communication that you're using?
Yeah, so now even those the close friends and family, we are going forward with email marketing only. So post that, we'll be taking this forward with our social media. But social media, see, we are targeting household sector women. So
Right.
I'm not so sure like how much they'll be into online stuff. It's just a tap of a button. They should put the money and they should get back. So
Absolutely.
so they are in chit funds. Every family household women is now rolling with chit. So we have to tap each and every of those microfinancing communities. So we are in attraction to get in touch with those localites who does this kind of a chit. So there are multiple startups where we have found that they're doing microchits. So we'll get in touch with them, where we kind of we don't poach their customers, but at the same time we give an additional benefit to them so that we expand our territory. So
And
that's the strategy.
okay, and what's been your traction so far?
It's been 3 months we have started this. So now we are having a customer base only our students, IMT students and their family members. So we are looking forward to expand it further.
So currently, how many people are invested with you, or you are making their investments for them?
So yeah, as of now, we have gotten into like people who have invested is like 33 people who gave a sanction that they can help us with their portfolios.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we are trying to go forward, because once we get into lot many clients, I think we need to
Yeah. Yeah.
go as bit established.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Karthik. No
Thank you.
more questions from my end.
Thank you, Mark.
Just one quick question for me, Karthik.
Yeah.
Wanted to understand. So, is this services driven or is this tech driven? In the sense, the decisions of where to invest, what asset to invest, how much to invest, etc. Is that
Yes.
driven by humans or is that driven by tech?
Yeah, no, yes, it's driven by, right now it's driven by humans. So we are trying to build an algorithm for it, but then it defeats our one-on-one personalized service. So we try to keep it as human as possible. So only the spend analysis part we are trying to use ML to bring tech into it.
Understood. Thanks so much, Karthik. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Next team is Uncle Sam.
Good evening, everyone. We are at Uncle Sam, Samarendranath, and I myself. So we all know that when it comes to childhood, it is difficult to look back without a sense of nostalgia for the worlds we visited and the characters we met. But these days, we often see kids poring over mobile phones and watching stuff that sometimes have an adverse effect on their overall growth. And also, from the results of a primary research, we found that kids find newspapers to be so lot of complex with stories they usually do not understand or they don't find relevant. And with technology making more inroads into their lives, the habit of reading is not inculcated from childhood. So without kids love to read stories. And what if news are also depicted like stories? Therefore, our solution is to provide news that is not only short and simplified, but also depicted like stories which would definitely not bore them. Not just that, Uncle Sam will be a venture for kids where they can understand and also ask their doubts and get them answered. One way we would like to differentiate us from the other platforms will be that the news that we deliver will be free from opinions, as we want the kids to have developed their own opinions about the topics. Thus, Uncle Sam will be an exclusive newspaper for kids with thoroughly researched and developed and packed into a written format that feels more like a TV show than a news article. Now, quickly coming to a business model, uh, yeah, we see that our unique value proposition would be to bridge between the grown-ups and the growing ups. And we want to become a platform to connect them to the outer world and let them compete on a larger scale. And this specifically will be achieved by having interactive events in the form of quizzes or say expert sessions or counseling sessions among the others. And moving on to our channels. So initially we thought of having both the physical and the digital lab, but given these times we are our MVP will be our digital one, but eventually we will also go into the print format. And the target age group will be mostly kids in the age group of 8 to 15, that is from 5th to 10th class. And the key activities we do will be the updated content of not just news, but then we intend to cover, say, articles on movie characters or sports or anything, anything and everything that exists under the sun, but mostly curated for kids. So now from here on, Samar, my friend, he will take up.
Uh, Hello everyone. So our market size will be we are trying to address the whole market of school going children, and that will be around 30 crore school children. That is taking in a conservative number, and from that we want to make money. We want to commercialize this only for the uh, private enrolled schools. So that will be an market of 15 crore children, of which are the age group that we are targeting, like Ahana has mentioned, from 5th to 9th and 10th class students. That will be a 9 crore students market. So let us just look at the basic stats. Like I've already mentioned, like 15 crore children are in privately enrolled 44 lakh schools. And if we see at the urban tuition fee, it is around 65,000 to 1.2 lakhs, and that is just the urban. And when it comes to the metros, it is that is lakhs, that is 1 to 2 lakhs for the segment we have mentioned. So considering that, if we look at our newspaper, we are going to price it at 25 per paper. That is the estimate as of now. and that will be a bi-monthly. So that will be around 50 rupees per student. And considering a student count of 200 that we can cater to in every school, we are expecting a 1.2 lakh revenue from school. And how we are going to target this segment is we are going to target this first with the school level activities, followed by the city level activities. So we will do the marketing city to city level. So we have estimated that each school level activity will cost us around 4,000 rupees, and the city level activities will cost us around 10,000 rupees. So it is not just the newspaper that we'll be providing to the school, because then that there would be no incentive for the schools to actually promote us. So we will also be giving a sort of a consultancy service to the school, wherein we'll get guest lectures, we will get counseling sessions for their faculty, and we will act as a bridge for them to the overall outside the other schools in the locality, and
Time's
also
up.
the
Please wrap it up.
okay. So let me just come to the most important part of this. Eventually, as we said, we want this to be a physical paper, and this will be sold to the private schools, but we are gonna leverage that network of private schools to make this free for the government schools. That is one of the most important milestones that will be in our journey. And coming to our team, it is Ahana Bhattacharya and me, Samarendranath Reddy. We are both students of IIM Trichy. So as the time is up, that will be all. Thank you.
So what are the languages that are you are trying to do it first?
The languages will just be English.
And how are you planning to manage the distribution?
A distribution as of now, it is a digital distribution front, so that won't be an issue. But as we go forward, we want to make this a distributed thing where the content will be printed at the location itself in the city level or the state level printing, and it will be distributed from there. We are not trying to consolidate the operations, because that then would become a problem for us.
And I'm curious to know who's working on the content for this. So whatever content is out there that's published in regular newspapers, you have to modify that to suit the particular age group you're catering to, right? So how big is the team, and what's your process of going about that?
Would you like to take this?
Ahana is muted, I think.
Yeah, I was actually muted.
Yeah.
Right now, we are taking the help mostly of our friends and family members who are helping us with the content. But Samar and I, we both are looking on the content part. So kind of mostly it is being done by both of us. And just a few family friends and college and people from colleges and the people that we know, mostly acquaintances that we are trying to work with us now. But then eventually we are trying to keep our own writers, in team writers, who will be helping us.
Okay. How big is the team right now? Just the two of you, or do you have more people working on it?
So
we have 2 more people.
We have 2 more people. Mostly they're working on the content part. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. No questions from my side.
Okay. Thank you. Then we have Team Basi. You can start sharing your screen.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Narayan Srinivasan. I'm with the Wildlife Association of South India. We're an NGO that work on conservation, freshwater conservation in South India. And today I'll be talking about our model that we use, our conservation model that we use around sustainable recreational fisheries. So the problem pretty much all across the country is that, well, we all know of freshwater as a very valuable resource today, but it is also ecologically speaking one of the most endangered or the most threatened biomes on the planet. This is for various reasons. Some of the more common ones is that if we build dams all across most of our rivers and lakes, we have something that is largely out of sight and out of mind because it happens underwater is changes in fish communities and plant communities underwater. So this is largely due to unregulated fishing practices and how our freshwater fisheries, captive fisheries are managed today. But all this, where it becomes important is that it all leads to a lower resilience in these freshwater ecosystems. It leads to things like ecosystem collapses. And that all means lack of fresh water for cities, lack of fresh water for irrigation, etc. So we've been working in this space for quite a while, and we came up with a solution to this problem, which is embedded in the service sector, and it is through recreational fisheries. Quickly to explain what recreational fisheries are, people like to go to lakes and rivers. They like to go out and they just want to have a fun day, maybe a father and son sitting on a lake and fishing. And that's how the revenue comes in. So the solution is that we have approached the fisheries department and we apply for a lease on rivers and lakes. We take this over a 5-year period. We declare these as fish sanctuaries and we run our recreational angling models on it. Now, what we found is that this encourages local communities to take ownership of those lakes. And I'm not talking about people from the urban sector only, but even local people, villages, fishermen communities living in and around these systems. They've been quite receptive to the model and quite enthusiastic. The second is to get people to value these ecosystems because they're so important. And eventually what we'd like to do is offer the fisheries department or the government of India a newer model for managing these freshwater systems, a model that's a little more sustainable. And we do all of this embedded in a citizen science model that I'll explain a little bit more about. So our product or our service that we offer is sustainable tourism. It's catch and release fishing. So this picture on the left kind of speaks for itself. We've got an angling guide who's employed from the local community, who's been trained in hospitality, angling best practices, how to in tourism basically. We have a father and a son who are the customers who are sitting over there and enjoying a great experience. So we've been running this model for about 5 years, so it's ready to scale up. We have the entire. So one thing we're able to do is to monitor fish trends across years, and this has been great because this is what gets our anglers or our recreational fishers to keep coming back because they know that their fishery is thriving, right? And we do this through a citizen science model. So we've got this vetted by the scientific community. We know that it works, and we've got a pilot system that is running right now, and we want to take this to the next step. So our target market, like I mentioned, are these anglers or these angling associations. We have about 50 of them throughout the country, and this sport, angling as an activity, is growing at an alarming rate in India right now. People, have fishing tackle. You might know your friends or family who want to go fishing, but the thing is they don't have a safe place to go fishing. So we want to offer this, or we have this model now that offers this safe place to go fishing. The second, at the other end of the sector, is the tender holders, so stakeholders on the ground who are looking for additional revenue. So something I learned very recently was, it's kind of counterintuitive, but a large katla, which is a type of fish that you get in the local market, has no actual value in the market. And that is because people believe that they don't taste as good. So all the big katla, which are 5 kgs and above, are being released, right? And that is where our value comes in because our recreational fishers want to target those fish. So just quickly, we have access to about 25,000 anglers at the moment, and we want to scale this up to about 2.5 million people who do engage actively in wildlife-related activities or nature-related activities. Our competitive advantage is based on 4 pillars. We focus on conservation, we focus on science, we focus on livelihoods with the local fisheries sector, and we offer a great ecotourism experience. So our revenue model is based on a commission basis. We charge a license for fishing. We also have accommodation where we tie up with local partners where people can stay and have a wonderful hospitality experience, and we charge a conservation fee based on that. Our team, I am a conservation biologist myself, and I handle the science and the ecological aspect. Sandeep Menon has a great background in the corporate sector, and Sandeep Chakrabarti has a lot of experience with ecotourism. So together, we've all made this work for the last 5 years, and we're quite excited to take it forward in the future.
Time's up.
Yeah, thank you.
Naren, could you take me through what your business model is?
So what we do is we have one so we need to lease these stretches, right? So for example, right now we have a lake that we're leasing for 15,000 rupees a year.
Okay.
And what we do is once we have that lease, we have rights to fish on that river or that lake.
Okay.
So what we do is we charge a license fee for anglers to come to our lake. Like,
Okay.
right now the license fee is at around 1,700 per day. So people pay this amount to come and fish for the day. We also have a accommodation that we've set up there. So it's basically a cottage, and we generate revenue from tariff on those room
Okay.
nights.
Okay. And what's been the traction like? Could you like tell us some numbers?
Sorry, could you explain that a little bit? I'm not too much from a entrepreneur background.
Okay, so in the last year,
Yeah.
how many people have actually come in on these licensed?
So we have a member base of 500 people. Out of that, about 300 of them are active. So in a month, we probably have around 200 anglers fishing on that lake.
Okay. Okay.
And we raise about 4.5 lakhs a year just from the angling revenue, and on top of that, our accommodation rates.
Okay, got it. Got it.
And all the money that we get that comes in, we spend on protecting that area. So whether it's from destructive fishing practices, we also clean the lake out. We make sure it doesn't get taken over by water hyacinth, etc. We maintain the lake to give that experience.
I see.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Naren. No questions from my side. Just wanted to comment. Very unique business. Glad to hear about this.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I think it is also very essential now to marry, the mainstream sector with ecological security, because I think that's going to be the future.
Any more questions?
Nothing from my side.
Naren, one more thing. What's been your marketing strategy like so far?
So our organization, like I mentioned, is member-based. So we have a very close-knit group of 500 people that we've been working with over the last 5 years. But eventually, when we take this further, there are around 50 different organizations that are engaged in these activities. But it's just that they don't do it in a sustainable way, ecologically speaking. So that is really what we're trying to sell to people. Because anglers love to go back to a lake where they know they're being responsible.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Next, we have Team Weereep.
Good evening, everybody. Trust my presentation is visible.
Naren, can you stop sharing your screen?
Sorry. Wait,
Can
sorry,
you-
I'm a bit lost.
Can
we can see your screen now.
You can see my screen. Here we go. We are a social enterprise and we are structured in a hybrid manner. So a trust and a private limited company to make it as a social enterprise. Jethro Network Private Limited is the private limited company, and Weereep Foundation is the one which front ends the entire thing. Weereep, as a tagline, we celebrate rural prosperity, which means we create rural prosperity at the grassroots level and then celebrate it. If it is already there, we enhance it. How do we do it, and what is the problem we are solving? It is these problems, say rural unemployability or upskilling rural children or creating livelihood for women. I am sure all of you are aware, and I'm sure I need not go into the statistics of at what level they are there. But one thing very important is, while we were doing the root cause analysis, the important root cause analysis is it has to be addressed at a very, very grassroots level. And that's what Weereep is doing. And the solution is we have created a platform where we have about 14 services right now. We are taken up the rural social entrepreneur route because we believe only entrepreneurship can create jobs in the villages. So we took the rural social entrepreneur route because these will be responsible jobs that will be created in the villages. So on this platform, we have our own services, and we have corporate services which have come in. And if you are an impact organization which want to get into a village for scaling up, we are a plug and play platform for that. So these social entrepreneurs utilize these services on the platform and deliver services for youth, women, and children of the village. So in a nutshell, VRAPE is a technology-enabled platform developing, nurturing, and connecting rural social entrepreneurs across. And it's all about creating opportunities and possibilities for rural youth, women, and other organizations. So our vision is to create social and economic growth for our social entrepreneurs. Our social entrepreneur is the unit of our growth. So we create these economic growth opportunities and social growth opportunities where they positively impact the village transformations in this. We are a 2-year young organization and we spent considerable time in actually doing the POCs and then working out the solutions for that. And now we are a revenue generating organization. And if you take the rural social entrepreneur as a unit, this is the impact map the rural social entrepreneur is currently having. We work with children after school engagement program. We take great solutions to the after school engagement program, productively engaging children. We have about 850 children on the network now. We give them conversational English, thinking skills, abacus, robotics, electronics, science as an experiential science. They do experiments and all that and learn. We help schools in the rural area to transform now. COVID times, we have been training teachers and all for transformation. We work with women. We trained about 35 women from our rural communities in the villages in help desk executive thing and provided jobs for them while they work from their home. That is, we believe in a concept called happy homes. And there are other programs which we are running now. We work with youth, we give them free entrepreneurship training. If they have ideas, we take them to the market and all that. Spoken English is one great program which is already running up and running. We prepare them for competitive exams for civil services and all. These programs are all up and running. And we have community engagement programs. This is all done through the rural social entrepreneur as a unit. I mean, that guy or that woman actually does all this work. So we have Aadhaar enabled payments now, which will help us in the rural commerce, which we are yet to launch kind of thing. And in October, we are actually launching the preventive healthcare POCs in 3 places across Andhra and Telangana. And we also have soil testing as a unit for income generation. So this is all done. This is how a typical VRIP learning center looks like. So all this, we have de-skilled the rural social entrepreneurs, this thing. We do not compromise on the delivery of skills. And this is the traction thus far. We have trained or done about 17,000 college students. We have trained on entrepreneurship in the last 2 years. The best of the ideas we are taking to the market, including seed funding them, getting them funding to the tune of 24 lakhs. 350 teachers. We have enabled 330 rural micro women entrepreneurs to enhance their incomes from X to Y. In fact, 45 of them had tripled their incomes without extra investments. We have done orientation programs for 1,800 plus parents. This number is 850 children now on the network. 35 rural, so we are present in 35 villages or towns now. So we have 12 services on the platform. This is thus far. Yeah, this is the market size. So this is the team. I am Yugandhar Dodda. I am the chief enabler and the founder. We have Lakshmi, Miss Lakshmi, who is the co-founder, and we have Dr. Riaz and Dr. Rathod, and then that is the thing. This we have recognized, got recognized. This is how our media presence is, and these are the this thing. I mean, we are there on the internet. If you actually Google us, you'll get a lot of videos about us. Thank you very much. I'm open for questions.
Thank you, Yugandhar, for the presentation. Glad to hear about the work you're doing. No particular questions from my side. Thanks.
I have a question. What prompted you to start this?
Mansiji, I am from a village to be this thing. Miss Lakshmi is also from village. We have this, we have actually said if anybody wants to work with us, they should have been from village and been in village for certain time of time. Even if we are to hire our CEO, next CEO, that would be one of the
Mm-hmm.
categories. Right?
Hmm.
So when I am from village, see, my background is I have worked in both HR consulting organizations for and education. My last job was with Oak Ridge International Schools as school director. So when we actually were doing the root cause analysis for all these problems called unemployment and all that thing, one thing is coming again and again is every youth in the village when they say why you are not able to go further and all, one thing they say is I'm not guided or I don't have resources.
Hmm.
So if you ask his father, tell the same thing. If you ask his grandfather, he'll tell the same thing.
Hmm.
So where does that has to be solved at the grassroots level, saying somebody has to go forward and do that thing. If you are to be an NGO or a government can only do that kind of thing. But as a person, how can I do? So I thought we need to actually create a system where it should be self-sustainable. Our social entrepreneurs are earning anywhere between 8,000 to 20,000 today. They're doing all the social impact programs and they're earning money. And in every transaction of this is our revenue, all while doing the social impact.
Great to hear that. Congratulations. It's a great initiative. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay. Team Happy Rail is having a bit of connectivity issue, so we'll be going ahead with the daily profit.
Yes, please give me a minute. I'll just share my screen.
Yeah. We can see your screen.
So hi, this is Bhairav from the Daily Prophet. Basically, we are a team of three, Ashlesh, Bhairav, and Lohit. And we have come up with a newsletter that we like to call the Daily Prophet. So basically, we curate thought-provoking stories that revolve around the startups and the VCs currently. So the basic problem that we are trying to solve here is to provide simple news. There's a lot of clutter on the internet, and so many apps, so many news website and applications that bombard us with all kinds of news in really complicated terms. So basically, in a way, we are really inspired by Finvest, and we would like to provide simple, startup related news content, and we also give out insightful articles in the form of reports or analysis as well. So we have about 5 to 6 people helping us three in creating content, and we are putting out relevant insights out there to our users. So that's how we have planned to, solve the problem that is a lot of clutter on the internet. We've come up with a weekly newsletter that basically a user can read within 5 minutes, and that does not use any kind of jargons and is curated in a very simple business language. Right. So we like to keep long stories short. So our users can target segments basically of all ages, college going crowd as well as the working crowd that are looking for quality news content. So product is a platform where we curate the engaging news across the Indian startup ecosystem through easy to understand stories. So right now it is we started off in April, and we have about 700 plus users that have been regular on our platform, and we have a subscriber base of 1,109 currently. So our revenue model is basically we promote the startups. We approach startups that are in their initial stages, and we tell them that we're going to feature your stories and provide them to our user base. So this is a platform where we can highlight your business model and your offerings, etc. And we will feature them on our website for a small fee as well. And of course, in a conventional manner, we run ads on our website. We also advertise products or services, and we also provide data to companies which sponsor our newsletter. In a way, we mine data from them and give them data that can influence the purchase behavior. So challenges are basic challenges, like we are facing challenges getting more subscribers. We're trying to advertise ourselves using our search engine optimization. So we're trying to expand our user base, and basically that is our most basic and first challenge. The second one is also to keep the content relevant and keep it simplified, which is our USP. Because there are so many news vendors out there giving out the news, but the challenge is to keep it simple and relevant, and keep our users engaged. So the roadmap is that being in a B school, we are connecting with entrepreneurship cells of various colleges. Right now, we have tied up with about 14 colleges across India, and we send out our content on a monthly basis. And we invite contributors, and we create a community of startup founders as well, where they share our stories, and there are startup enthusiasts and regular people as well. We are also expanding to new products, such as creating a mobile application, a podcast series, and also starting off videos on the YouTube channel. So this is what we have in the pipeline for the future. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
I have a question here. So, is there any specific type of startups that you're focusing on? Is there something like rural startups or a specific industry or a specific kind of startups that you're focusing on, or is generic startups?
No, not really. We do not have a specific segment as such in mind. We cover all kinds of startups basically.
And how
We
are
do not
you
have a particular segment.
and how are you getting the feed, like the news feed? Are on ground researchers out there, or just from the news sources you're collecting the things?
Yes, so two of us in the team are in the entrepreneurship cell of our college, and one of us also interns at a VC fund. And we have 5 to 6 people along with us who provide content to our team. We've tied up with 2, 3 bloggers as well who blog about these kind of content. We receive content and insights and data from them as well. So that is how we've been doing it in the initial stages right now.
I have a question. So while you mentioned that acquiring subscribers is a challenge that you foresee,
Right.
what is your work around that? How are you going to approach that?
I think it's really about the content. We can take inspiration from Finvest for this. Even before there were plenty of newsletters coming into our email, but when Finvest newsletter comes, we really open it and take a look because their content is so good and they made financial news so simple. So that is really our inspiration, to keep jargons aside and really get to the base of a topic and really curate the content in a very simplified manner.
Let's see. Could you tell me a little bit about the team?
Yes, ma'am. Kumar Lohit, he's the entrepreneurship cell secretary of our college, and
Right.
he's interned with a VC fund.
Yeah, that you mentioned. Okay. What's
I'm
the
an agriculture entrepreneur.
Okay. But do any of you have specific expertise in content curation or a background in related to that?
Yes, ma'am. Lohit has been blogging and he's been writing very similar content
Okay.
from a long time, and he's got a huge pool of LinkedIn followers as well.
I see.
So this was his idea. So, we sort of wanted to make it bigger and add greater content. And because individually there was only so much he could do, and he was doing pretty well as well. So that was our inspiration, man.
Okay, great. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation. Just one quick question. Keen to understand, do you need to raise funds for this business? Because this is a business you can grow yourself without any external help, right?
I believe so, sir. We can do it to a certain extent, but I think the more money that we spend on digital marketing and search engine optimization, there's a wider base of pool that we can reach. I'm sure our investment would not. I mean, the required investment would not be as much as the other startups would require. But we just need support to expand our user base and have a wider reach, basically, and also to get support of more people and to get more insights and more data.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. So next we have Team Happy Rib.
Yeah. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Finally, we joined the Zoom meeting. Actually, we were experiencing some network issue. So I'm happy that I have finally joined this event. Okay. Can I start now?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. So our healthcare product is Happy Rel, meaning happy healer. Healer meaning liver in Tamil. So it's your technological companion for liver disease prediction. Okay, next slide, please. So what is the problem right now? Like liver cirrhosis has become a common disease nowadays because of the lifestyle, because of alcohol consumption and all those things. So it is very essential to detect liver cirrhosis at early stage itself. But then because of the current method like biopsy and ultrasound, these things are very painful and it's costly and it's usually less accurate. Yeah, so this is the problem. The next slide. So who are our target audience? So first, our target audience is the normal users who want to see their results. Next are the lab centers and lab technicians who take the data from the users and who can upload the data. And third is the doctor and physician who can analyze the data of the patient. So these are our target audience. Next slide, please. So as you can see from the pie chart, the more percentage is the market percentage is for the diagnostic product. So our product detects whether you have liver cirrhosis or not by using a non-invasive method. So as you can see, the current market size of medical devices in India is estimated to $11 billion. Next slide. I would like to invite my partner to continue from this slide. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, our product Happiral just focuses on detecting liver problems earlier in younger and also older patients. The way we try to achieve that is using transient elastography, which actually means that we detect the speed of sound waves in liver so that we can estimate the stiffness of the liver. That's what we are trying to do. And yeah, that's it. What actually we do is we try and estimate liver stiffness, and based on that we try to actually predict the extent of extent which the liver is affected. And yes, our product will be a like more like a scanning device which will detect our liver stiffness. And we also have a software kind of thing where doctors can input data, and with sufficient data we can also predict. We using ML we can actually predict the uh, extent of this. The parameters for liver detection is for drinking habits, and obesity also is a factor, and food habits, lifestyle, and stuff like that. We try to analyze and come to a solution. We don't have the data yet, and yes, this technology is actually this technology is actually proven to be accurate in many other medical fields. Actually, people usually detect cholesterol by using transient elastography, and they detect the fat layers in the nerves using transient elastography. And yeah, next thing we understanding the product will be explained by Ms. Kirtan Priya.
Yeah. So, as my partner said, the liver diseases are more prevalent. So, it is very important to detect liver diseases at early stage. So, here we are taking the product and we are just taking the liver stiffness value and we are calculating whether that person will get liver cirrhosis in future or not using
1 minute left.
ML data. Slide next, please. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. So these are the key features like easily accessible, accurate lists, and low cost and high security.
So our product is like we have a scanning machine and we'll show it to the doctors. The doctors will recommend it to the customers, and the customers will have an app which they can see their results. And the doctors with their login, they can have the predictions, analysis of the prediction. That's what we are trying to do.
The next slide, please. Next slide. So these are the key differentiators. Like this is very economically feasible. If you take some ultrasonic mission or something like that, it costs around like 5 lakhs to 6 lakh. But then our mission, it costs around like 30K. Like it's a rough.
Time's up. Please wrap it up.
Yeah. Okay. Can I just go through the slide once? Yeah. So there are like different user interface for doctors, for users, for the lab technician. Next, please. So we are using like different technology. Like we are using a portable hardware device which can measure the liver stiffness, and like the front end is made of HTML. We are using MySQL. So we are incorporating many technology in this product. Next slide. So our market strategy, as you can see, these are the market strategy for any medical device like SEOs, PPCs, and like promoting our product in some medical conference, getting regular feedback from the user, and so on. And we also thought of collaborating our product with some MSMEs, SMEs for manufacturing and for outreach. Next slide, please.
You'll have to stop here.
Yeah. So this is our team. As we are not very experienced, we are just undergraduate students studying in Triple IT DM Kanjipuram. So thank you. That's all. I'm sorry.
Hi, this is Shanak. So that's an interesting concept there. So have you built a prototype, or is there a patent or something?
Like it's still in the
We are in the prototyping stage. Actually, we are trying to achieve the POC. We've been doing this since 2018 December. We've tried estimating the stiffness of various non-animate objects like sponges and stuff. We're close to getting a POC.
And how are you measuring the accuracy? As you have already mentioned that the existing methods are not accurate. So how are you pegging your method with accuracy? Like how are you comparing it with? What are you comparing it
I
with?
just stated that the transient elastography technique will be there are papers stating that transient elastography is accurate than the conventional ultrasound measures. I just put a claim over there.
No, my question was how are you measuring it with accuracy of detection of the liver cirrhosis? Like your method has to have a right or a wrong, right? You will predict something that has to be tested against something which is a gold standard. So if that standard isn't available, how are you planning to test it? So that was the question.
No, prediction comes once the hardware, the proof of concept is done. Actually, prediction is based on once we have enough data, then the prediction will start. First thing will be focusing on only getting the liver stiffness from the device.
Okay.
We have yeah.
I'd like to understand your respective backgrounds in terms of understanding the medical field and specifically, the field of liver. And secondly, in terms of your primary customers, so you mentioned a marketing strategy, right? But in terms of your primary customers, Are you going to propagate this product through the doctors, or are you looking at going direct to customer route?
We actually are planning
The doctors.
I can't hear you. Please speak up a little louder.
First, we aim at the doctors. So if the doctors, if the doctors can verify a product and if he recommends to his patient, it will be more effective, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like the user interface for the use, like the own customer will be different. So that we will develop using some digital marketing and so on.
Okay, and what's the structure like for any R&D around this product? Like who's managing that in the team and what's their background?
Like in currently in the team only we both are there. So in future we'll be getting more members for sensor design, for R&D and all those things.
Okay.
But
We take the help of a juniors in a college and stuff like that. We've been working on it. It's not yet fully planned out yet.
Okay.
But the main core idea was brought by my founder of this team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thanks, Kirta. No questions from my side.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Team Natural.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me present. Can you see it?
Just give it a minute. Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Malay Kumar Patra from IIM Trichy. Today I'll be talking about my startup Natural. Okay. Before starting, let me take you through two incidents that you may know currently. First, COVID. Because of COVID, our lives have become very difficult. And we want to increase our immunity. We have become choosy about food. We all know that food is the greatest medicine. So during time like this, our preference for food is much more choosy. So there we are for the supply side. The second incident, you might have come across Farmers Bill 2020. Okay. So this bill was recently passed in the parliament and it had mixed reaction from the society, especially from the farmers. They had some opposition. There was some demand that MSP was not discussed. What is MSP? Minimum support price. So they wanted the MSP value to increase. What is the reason of that? Because they're not able to earn enough. Because of that, they want the MSP value to rise. So there, the second problem we are addressing, helping the farmers become profitable. Okay. So these are the problems we are addressing. First, there is a growing concern for healthy lifestyle and hence healthy food. That is from the demand side. And from the supply side, farmers are not able to generate much benefit by being a farmer. So we are helping farmers. So two sides we are addressing. Okay. Few insights. The demand for organic food has increased exponentially. You will be surprised to learn that it is so high in European and American market. It is just starting in Indian market. And exponentially, it is increasing. For example, India exported, the growth export was 25% and increasing at a high rate for the organic food to the countries like Europe and America. And second thing is, though demand is increasing, but from the supply side, the farm production is reducing. The farm growth is reduced day by day, that is 5%, then 2%, and gradually decreasing. Farmers are not able to find it profitable. Okay, so there we are providing a solution. There is a demand and there is a supply mismatch. We are bridging that gap. We are supplying organic food, a platform for that. And at the same time, we are empowering the farmer. Okay, so how we are doing that? First thing is promote about the health benefit of organic food. Okay. Everyone knows that by taking organic food, we reduce toxic food, we reduce heart risk, and the taste is better. Okay, that is from the demand side. But for the farmers, we know farmers find many difficulties. First problem is the finance problem. So we tie up with some credit provider like Jai Kisan, bank, and few more companies, and provide them easy finance. Okay. Next is we make them aware about best farming practices from India as well as from outside world, outside our country, and we implement technology to monitor the food growth. Okay. Third thing is we create a platform where the farmers can sell directly to the consumers. Okay. These are three things we are working upon. So what are our products and services? First, similar to Uber and Ola, we create two apps. First thing is one app for the consumer, for the demand side. There is a growing demand, and for them there will be one website and app. This is the initial plan. Gradually we plan to tie up with other malls and all. And for the farmers, we develop an app through which they can know about farm productivity and other methods. Okay. So there are some insights. We know in India that for 58% of the people are in farming sector, but the output is very less. So we want to increase the productivity of farmers. Okay. And who is our target customer? First target is the urban population. We want to target them specifically now because it is the demand is rising day by day. And second is from the supply side, we want to target large farmers, those who have large farm areas. That is the initial target. Some competitors like Mantra Organic, Organic Tattva, NutriOrg. Okay, what unique we have is the competitors, they provide only one side of the solution. They forget about the farmers. We are not that. We provide end-to-end solution. Okay. That is the biggest advantage. So this is a revenue model, is to help farmers and then at the same time help the consumers. Okay. So this is the idea of the startup. Thank you.
So how are you planning to generate revenue with your primary value is having low prices? So isn't that a very difficult proposition, like when you're offering something unique and also offering low prices? How do you plan to sustain your operations?
Yeah, we are catering to two sides of the people. First is the consumers. We provide them organic food. As we know, in urban areas, there is high demand for organic food, as we see. And the price of organic food compared to the normal food is higher. You might have seen. So what we'll do is, since we are tying up with the farmers, we get the food at a cheaper price. We help them. They are only selling through our platform. The obvious thing is the products will be cheaper in our platform. So by that, the demand side will be met. At the same time, we want to ensure that it is proper and organic, not just some other thing. And so that's why we want to help the farmers be profitable. At the same time, we want to assure the consumers that yes, this is organic food only, certified by government.
How do you ensure the quality? Like, what are the processes that will help ensure the quality?
Yes. First thing is we are tying up with the farmers. We monitor what method they do. There will be regular intervention from our side. Okay. What kind of manure they use, what kind of seed they use, everything will be done from our side only. And they will be sending us regular updates through smartphone photo or something. So we'll have a regular checkup with them. And we'll be testing also whether it is organic or not. The soil test will be there. So that way we ensure it. Plus there are some government rules and some agencies who certify that yes, this is an organic product. So we will go for that certification. And then since we are tied up with farmers, our products will be cheaper. So by that we sell to the consumer.
Hi, Malay. Curious to understand. I don't think we covered this in the deck. Could you talk a little bit about the team?
Team, myself, Malay Kumar Patra. Only one.
Okay. Anything about your background, education? Are you from a agri background yourself?
Yes. Born and brought up in, my father is a farmer. From childhood, I have seen farming. I have been into farming. And education-wise, I did engineering from NITK Surathkal. And post that, I was working for a few years. And now currently doing MBA at IIM Trichy.
Thanks. No more questions.
Thank you.
No more questions. None from me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Team Outlawn. Malay, can you? Yeah.
Just a minute. I'm sharing my screen. Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I am Praveen Kumar from Team Outland. So, problem statement per se, like this is a real life incident that occurred with my teammate, with whom she lives. Her nephew is a sixth standard kid who was switching off the video and was scrolling through the social media pages during the online classes time. So when asked about why he was doing that, he said just the class was boring or the content is redundant or it is not engaging. So when we look deeper into the issue, this is when we found the issue. Like we found something else as well. Like Indian kids spend on average of about 5 hours per day of screen time to social media apps, whereas the US kids spend on about 9 hours per day in social media apps. So we have not reached that point yet, but there is a scope for us to go in and then to reduce it to a bit or to just to sustain the flow. So another thing that has aggravated the current situation is the pandemic, due to which like almost everything has gone online. With parents accepting this as a new behavior, they are not considering the side effects that can occur with it. Like they're restricted, students not going out of their comfort zone or they're like a narrow mind thinking. So keeping this in mind, we defined our consumer profile as someone, a kid from 10 years of age to 17 years of age. So with this, we recognized about this many institutions, the number of schools with a particular number of kids working around, and the number of school-going kids in the particular age group is nearly 65 million. So to solve this problem, we took the motivation from a gaming platform. So since gaming platforms provide engaging content and keep the users hooked, we thought why not use the same for educational context. So we looked at very popular games like Assassin's Creed or Witcher, which offers a open world content. A character is allowed to roam into the world and make his own decisions and craft his own journey. So we thought why not give the same kind of behavioral traits to a student and see how it performs. So this is where we come up with a solution. So let alone the kids, even the adults of current age do not know much about the history of their own country and as well as the geography as well. And as well as there are a number of edtech platforms here which are focusing on math and science, but there are less which are give adequate importance to history and geography. This is where we come in with our educational content, wherein we drive decision-making, storytelling, interactive platform, wherein the kid will be able to hover around the decision centered around a particular location. This location will highlight the importance of historical importance, the cultural importance, and as well as the surrounding itself. So, given this, what we are trying to accomplish is that we are trying to tell the kid there is much more than an outside world or like virtual world out there. Like there are so many things happening around there. You need to expand your your boundary. It is good to get out of your comfort zone and get to know as much as possible out there. So this is where we complement history and geography classes. So we also know it is tough to drive this content directly through students. So that is why we decided we'll drive it through schools and then we'll achieve partnership with school. But the center point of the whole program will be the product. So I will call upon my teammate Ritu to take us through the product.
So basically, our product has three features: interactiveness, then storytelling, and decision making. So we are using all these three features to aid the students in the learning through experience process. We will provide a short mock-up of the idea of the website that we have in mind in the next slide. So as you can see in the mock-up, we are providing an interactive map, and the students are given a choice to explore as they wish. So after choosing the place, location where they want to visit, we will be offering them three genres to choose from. One will be history. So in history will include a short artful video, and culture will comprise of everything from cuisines to festivals. Next will be including environment. So it will include everything from the geographical details of the place to certain landmarks, 360-degree views of the landmarks. Next, we'll go to the competitors. So our competitors are everyone.
1 minute left.
Yeah, competitors are everyone who takes up screen time. Now, there are a few competitors available in the global platform, but in India, in the Indian context, there are no such platforms available. So this is the space where we are trying to occupy. Now, coming to the business model, the main cost drivers that we have is the IT investment and content creation. So we are planning to monetize it in the form of user subscription model, and our growth will predominantly depend on the number of schools with whom we can partner with. So coming to the growth strategy, we are looking to ride this wave of digital transformation that is happening in Indian educational context right now. And as of now, there's still a huge gap between the ubiquitous VR and AR facilities. So we will be able to bridge this gap currently. And we can also provide the rural kids the similar kind of education that is available to the urban kids with the help of government subsidies maybe. Further, we can also extend this to other subjects as well in the long
Time's
run.
up. Please wrap it.
Yeah, so coming to the team, we both have experience in product management and operation and data analytics and information technology as well. So we'll be able to map our ideas and visions into technical solutions in a viable way. As this concept is still in the ideation stage, what we are predominantly looking for through this experience is guidance and monetary help to take this idea forward and make it a reality. Thank you. That's all.
So this looks like a primarily product driven thing. So any insights on how are you trying to get this product built? Like you do not have a coder in the team or something. So I just wanted to understand how we're planning to build this whole gamified system.
So since this is still in the ideation phase, as of now, we have spoken to a few of our friends who are from the IT industry itself, who are into development, and they have said that they'll be trying to help us out. But again, the product still needs a lot of modifications, I believe. So yeah, as and when time comes, we'll be taking help from them.
I have another question. In terms of the uniqueness of your product, right? The information that it is generating or providing to the user, how is it different than, say, if I was as a child to type in, festivals in Karnataka on Google search? How is it different? I mean, what is the experience that is going to set you apart?
Ma'am, like primarily we are dealing with kids of from 600 some standard 8th standard. So that is
Okay.
the average age that we are looking at. So kids at these age, their tech savvy. You're right. They can go to YouTube and they can drive it. But what happens in that place is like exactly the screen time increases. They go for one content and then they go for another, and it
So you
just
want to
keeps on
keep them
extending.
captive in your app?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So instead of just browsing through social media, we wanted to drive educational content through schools and then to students.
Okay. And in terms of your source of content, how is that going to come around? Do you have any ideas around that? How will you be
Coming,
producing the content?
ma'am, the content will be mostly a story-driven content, wherein we'll be making short, artful videos, which will be given to the students. So,
Okay.
the content for it is basically that we'll be taking from history books and as well as the content that is available from the basic domain, and we'll just curate it in a nice way that is rightfully appealing to the kids. That is the basic thing that we'll do.
Okay. And as I saw in the mock-up, is the interaction with the kid or the user in the form of a chatbot?
No, ma'am. We are planning for a twofold strategy as of now. We are also looking at the chatbot kind of thing, and also a completely interactive thing like single point and click, wherein a kid can just go and click it, because we cannot expect like even the rural kids to be tech savvy. So for them, a point and click would be much more.
Okay, and any views on vernacular languages, doing content in vernacular languages?
Yes, ma'am. That is true. That like again, as I said, like the like when we go to rural kids, the vernacular language plays a much important
Much
role.
important
So
role.
we thought like we can drive the content through vernacular language, and also one more option that we are providing is for like the blind people. We are also providing the audio listening feature. So
Okay.
by which they will be able to like navigate through the audio system and as well as the voice input as well.
Okay, got it, got it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the presentation. No questions from my side.
Okay, no more questions, I guess. Okay, fine. Thank you so much, participants, for sharing your amazing ideas, and the jury for asking such engaging questions. It'll be really great if you could just share a few of your thoughts, the jury members, and then we can end this. Vatsal, do you want to go ahead?
Hey, sure. Yeah, I think this was fantastic. A lot of great initiatives, very, very unique businesses, thinking really out of the box to solve real problems with and making big impacts. So I think this was a fantastic, and kudos to everybody, to the founders especially, but also to the organizing teams for finding such amazing teams to showcase.
Thank you. Mansi, you will take a go.
Yeah, just a big congratulations to everyone. I think some of your ideas are amazing. Keep at it, stay strong. I've learned some great insights today. I'm feeling so inspired. Just stay on your track, keep working at it. Congratulations to the organizing team, brilliantly conducted event. And yeah, thank you so much. It was great meeting all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. And Shaunak?
It was a really nice set of pitches. Really got to know a lot of new challenging problems that they're solving. Uh, One point I'd like to add is ideas. There are a lot of ideas floating around in this world, but key would be execution. So it has to be seen how good the team is able to execute that. So that's one key thing that everyone should not forget. And so congratulations again for being part of this event, and hope for the best and hope you succeed in your endeavors. Thanks.
Thank you. Abhijit will be taking up from here.
Hello, everyone. So that was the jury, and thank you for the amazing pitches that we had today.
Abhijit, can you be a bit louder?
Sure. Is this better?
No.
Hello. Yeah. Am I audible now?
You're audible, but your volume is very low.
Okay. Is this better now?
Yeah, something's better. Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry for that. So yes, thanking all the jury for sharing your thoughts and especially taking the time out today. It was amazing having you here. Today we had, I think this version, we had a lot of bubbling ideas, most of them in the very, very early stages. So thanks for putting in all the effort and the time. I'm also thankful that we're able to actually have like keep it very tight on the time. I think our initial discussion with Naga went on for a little longer than expected, but I'm sure everyone enjoyed listening to him. It was like phenomenal listening just the thoughts that he put out. Also to all the participants who were here, like very, very like I'm impressed by the kind of work that all of you've been doing, and it's just heartening to see the kind of problems you're solving across these regions, or even taking that step, taking that first step towards solving these issues. I think understanding that problem is the first step. Moving forward, I would like to thank all our regional partners here. So ECEL, IMT for being such an amazing co-host and managing this event with us. Global Shapers, Pondicherry Hub for being the outreach partner. AIC Raise for supporting us through your efforts, and also they are our global partners moving forward, and it's great to have you guys on board. I would again like to thank all our global partners through which we are able to bring in the expertise, the support, and all the benefits that our participants get. So thank you everyone and the outreach partners for helping us share the initiative to more and more people. Uh, Closing in, I would like to thank our co-hosts Telugu and I am Kashipur ECEL, and also Startup India for helping us doing the outreach and supporting us in this amazing journey. Uh, to take the leave, this is Misfits for you guys. We'll see some of you moving forward in the global finals, and but then for rest of them who do not make it, we do have a bunch of mentorship opportunities and a lot of benefits coming in for you. So thank you very much. So let's be the change makers that we are meant to be. Thank you guys.